shift powders.
Oh, okay. I don't have shift powders.
Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
We going. I'm Colin.
Mason.
And we finally got you-know-who here.
Hi, I'm Chris.
Chris.
From D&S Tackle. D&S.
Yep, I'm from D&S Tackle out of Cedar Falls.
And so we've got Kristen. Ooh, that was almost a mistake and have to start over. So we got Chris here. We're here to talk. We're going to talk a little bit about what he does with the baits. And I know him and Mason are just going to absolutely have a heyday here on this because, as you can tell behind us, all of Mason's stuff, and Doughty will get into all of his, but I'm going to leave it off with you, Mason, for questions towards Chris and what
questions for Chris. I don't know.
And what he's got going here with. Mason was just about ready to get a chubby over this color scheme here.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to figure out what kind of glitters he's got going on in here and all that. But yeah, I don't know what kind of questions to ask. I mean, I got the idea of what he does, but anyway. So what really did get you started in making your tackle?
So a couple of years ago, we weren't even an entity then. My cousin and I decided, I put out a post of, hey, anybody got some lead? And my cousin commented, he goes, the heck do you need lead for? And I said, well, to pour jigs, man. I want to make some jigs. And he's like, dude, you just need to come over and I'll just show you how it's done.
Yeah.
So my cousin, which is my business partner, he's the S portion of it, which is Trav. And I went over to his house and, he showed me these are the molds. Mm-hmm. And that's really when it took off for me was I started with some do-it molds because obviously hometown stuff, we support the hometown guys, and I bought some lead head molds and got a whole bunch of hooks, and I went out, a couple days later and just absolutely just slayed walleyes and a ton of big smallmouths, and that's where that started. And
some of those smallmouth were big that you were catching on the river.
Yeah, I probably had a magical year that's never gonna happen ever again.
You're still slaying the walleyes to a degree. You're catching decent sized walleye, and the people that are using it are also catching personal bests as well.
We definitely have excelled in the walleye field, for sure. Like I said, that one year was probably the best year I've ever had for smallmouths, and I caught 6 that were 5 pounds plus, and I actually have one on my wall that was 5.5 pounds and 23.5 inches long, which is
that's massive.
It's a massive fish,
That is massive.
I was gonna release that fish, but she choked it, and I just tried to bring her back, and I couldn't, and so I did that fish the justice. I ended up eating it.
Yeah.
I know guys are probably cringing right now. Eat a smallmouth, but I ate that fish, and then we got a replica made of her, and
yeah. I mean, my personal best for smallmouth is 21 inches. I didn't have a scale for mine though.
Yeah, so, that's a huge smallmouth. I mean, some guys are talking to me and they're like, well, I don't catch smallmouths as big as you and blah blah blah, and I'm like, dude, man, you guys are out there pounding 18, 19 inch smallmouths. That's a huge smallmouth, guys. Like, that's a really big caliber fish for around this area, for small streams, smaller river systems. I mean, I'm not talking like going to the Mississippi either, guys. Like, I'm talking like this is all Cedar River fishing, Wapsie fishing, I obviously haven't ventured as much up here as I need to, just because with where I'm at in plastics now, I don't have the time
Yeah.
to go out and fish, so I kind of go fish some of my honey holes and do that.
Yeah.
What was that feeling knowing that it was something that you had made?
It's the best feeling in the world, and once I
Well, can you say that that's what actually hooked you the most, knowing that it was something that you made from pretty much scratch to be like, hey, I'm onto something here?
Well, it wasn't really that. I did a gold color that I don't know if you guys have ever fished the Callan's tickle tails. They're like a 2/8 paddle tail, and they've got little fingers on them.
Oh yeah.
And they had this really good gold color, and I'm like, man, like that's super cool. And then I was talking to Travis. He's like, dude, we should pour our own baits. And I'm like, why didn't we do that? Like, that is a great idea, because we could fish whatever we want. You know, and we got into it, and then like it was several months after, like, when we got the plastics, and I'm not gonna lie, we kind of stunk at it at first, you know, like it takes like a certain rhythm to get into, and to know your glitters and what works with this, what works with that, you know.
Need that color wheel almost.
Yeah. And for me, it was a gold. Like I love fishing gold. I love fishing gold. And so I made this gold bait, and I knew the river was coming up, and I'm like, I have to go down to the river and fish. And it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna get up and go fish the river.
Yeah.
And I have to go to work at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna go fish the river. And of course, I went out to this rock that I always, you know, it's my perch, as a lot of these guys call it. And I was fishing that, and I was jigging my bait, and I see this big shadow come up, and it starts swimming towards my bait. I go, oh man, stinking northern, like, because it was really big. And I go, stinking northern, like, oh, whatever, let's just catch him anyways. You know, and then I jigged it, and it popped it, and I set the hook so hard, its head come out of the water, and then I seen the big glow in the eye. And I go, oh my goodness, this is not a northern. This is a giant walleye, and possibly the biggest fish that I've ever had, you know. And I fought her, and I got her up near the bank, and I went down to grab her, and the hook come flinging out, and now I'm bug-eyed. I'm like, I just want a picture with this fish, you know, nobody's gonna believe me, you know. And I reached down, and I grabbed it like this, and pulled it up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and I got my fingers just slid into the gill plate, and I held it up, and I go, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. And ended up taking it up to the top just real quick to get a measurement and a weight on her, and it was a 32 inch.
Oh my god.
32 inch, 10.2 pounds. Just had later eggs, because this was in the spring, you know. And I don't know, I think since then I was just like, yeah, like, this is definitely what I want to do, you know. So
yeah,
that was kind of like the super fire portion of it that really got me hooked. And Travis and I just, and the whole winter, just all we did was knock out baits. And the fall's kind of a hard time for us, you know. Like, I just tell people, well, you're gonna have to wait, because I'm probably only going to pour a little bit on the weekdays, because I want to go out and deer hunt with everybody. And I still love to fish, you know. I still love the fall feed. I mean, you know, I still have my stuff. Kind of switch up my tactics a little bit, but
I mean, that's,
yeah, I caught that year. I caught 4 fish that were over 30 inches. 4.
And that's hard to believe unless you know the river really well. That's hard to do around here.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, and to be able, and that says something to, one, your fishing abilities and your knowledge, but also knowing what the fish actually like with coming up with your
Yeah,
color
that's-
schemes that you've got.
That's
there.
why I came up with like a bunch of these color schemes, which we can show some of the people, like some of this other one, like this first one. This was the bluegill pattern, you know, and I created this bluegill pattern, you know.
This one right here.
Yeah.
I did that just to mimic a bluegill, and
Yeah.
that not only sometimes those walleyes, I noticed it with fishing some crankbaits, that when I would fish a crankbait, that I was getting a lot of good hits and solid hits
Mm-hmm.
on a bluegill pattern, and so I'm like, well, why can't we do that with plastics? We can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
It just takes time and money,
Yeah.
you know. So that was when that started, and then obviously
I've also noticed that when you go to the store, you don't really see this
No.
color pattern
yeah.
around. I mean, maybe some of your bigger box stores or something you might see it, but not to here.
Well, like Cabela's, you're not going to see that,
I have yet to see Cabela's
or Bass Pro.
come up with, just to give an idea. Look at how that shines,
Yeah.
Yeah, that
you
was
know.
amazing.
And then here
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
with the tail.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you can get that at Bass Pro, but I mean, the sparkle, the shine is
Well,
beyond
that and the
belief.
dual injection and stuff like that. I mean, they do
Yeah.
have dual injected stuff, but you're not going to see.
A lot of the color,
The
the
big
color pattern.
the
mainly.
big box stores, I think they kind of like didn't really get all like mine and Trav's idea was make your glitter show what you're wanting it to show.
Yeah.
And this is a true in, you know, with, I mean, I put my heart and soul into that bait.
Mhm.
That bait I wanted to replicate for years, and I actually have that in, this is my finesse fluke. This is the Keegan mold. He got me to get this thing back, and I bought these molds like 5 times. I sold them. I had two. I sold them to a guy, and Keegan's like, dude, I need that mold. Like, and I'm like, fine, whatever. I'll get it back. You know, I said, hey, you know, I hit up Gavin, and he's like, yeah, well, this is a good time for you because I'll sell them back to you because he's getting into he's doing a YouTube channel on flatheads. So,
Okay.
so I got them molds back, and then I bought more from Fat Guys on this thing. But these are the finesse flukes. These things, just to show. This is the bluegill color here. Just kind of spinning it around. Look at how.
The glitter in it.
But look at how finesse that is, guys. Like, I'm not even barely doing anything, and look at the movement on that. I mean, it's so insane. I mean, it's doing everything. And don't get me wrong, we hook a 3/8 head to this to get it down to the walleyes. And I'm gonna tell you, 2 weeks ago when I posted when Travis took me out in the boat. Not this color, but because I didn't have this color yet. We absolutely just thumped
Look at
some good fish.
The good,
Yeah. Flip it
Packaging.
around. Yeah, the packaging's cool.
yeah, the packaging. And people can order through you, correct? Right?
Yep. Yeah.
There.
I don't have a full on like buy off of a site yet, but
D&S Tackle, Facebook.
But you know, they can just go on to that. So that's that color. I'm gonna save this one for last.
I like how you came up with your color scheme with the logo.
So that was Woo Custom Baits helped me out with that because I was in my infant stage and I was just like, I need help designing something, and where do I get bags from? And he's like, dude, you need to hit up Sharon from from Carepack Co. SZ Shen or something from China, and so he goes, I'll help you design a logo, and he helped me design this logo, and I was like, dude, that's the logo for us. You know, that is definitely our logo. Like, I absolutely love it. And yeah, I mean, that was that. And obviously I get most of my bags. I had to get my bags from China because the cost. They have a bunch of restrictions on how things are done in the United States.
Yeah.
That's how China gets away with that. So, really got the cost down, so now the customer's not eating any of the cost. That's why I can charge so little for my baits.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, let's say, since you hit on that,
That's
a package like this with these guys, what are you normally charging?
I'm charging for my dual colors for this particular bait. Same thing with the triple tails. Dual colors are $7 for a pack, and single colors are $5 for a pack, and you get eight baits in each one.
Okay.
So I've been really trying to keep the cost down for guys, which still making it enough to pay for plastisol.
Yeah.
And you're never gonna make your time back. I mean,
No.
you know this.
Yeah.
You know this just as well as I do.
Yeah.
You do this because you love it.
Yeah.
You know, so. But yeah, this here is I barely even got this on my website. On our page. This color here is this is only a day or two old.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and this is my creek chub color. You know, and these guys can't see it, but it has
Here,
a.
let's get-
Oh,
Is it opened yet? Yeah.
oh yeah, they're all open, and then if guys buy them, they can tear the tops off if they don't like the top. I just prefer to leave it.
And he said that's the creek chub one.
Yep.
Yeah.
That bottom will actually, it's got a blue highlight in it, and then that blue highlight will actually shift to a purple highlight in when certain conditions happen.
Well, not only that, but also this color on top, it actually brings out a little bit of red for some reason that I see. I don't know why.
So and that's so that would be one of the flakes.
That'd be one of the flakes they have in there. Okay.
I've got that one would have some dead on burn flake in it.
Okay.
So this is actually got holographic red in it. It's not just regular red. It's like, oh, who just wants to do straight red?
Yeah.
You know, like let's do something fun. And then obviously the purple to have that kind of goby color in it, and it's got a shift powder that you can really see when in this type of condition. This one people might be able to see it a little bit better on the.
Well, not only that, but if you take these baits out in like actual sunlight, it's totally different than artificial lights.
Yeah. There's the tail. There's a little bit. Just very well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
and these don't feel cheaply made.
No,
like
it feels meaty.
These don't feel cheaply made. Okay.
Yeah.
And to get 8 of these.
Yep.
I mean, come on, guys. 8.
Well, and that's the thing though too. Like those mass-produced baits, they're using cheap plastic,
right?
And where dead-on plastics is more expensive, and they actually sell a very good type of plastic chemical to make that.
Yeah,
and I've noticed that the bigger boxers are. I mean, you're gonna pay for it to get something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of those guys have switched to that ElasTech stuff. Mm-hmm. I know, like there is one guy around here that has a machine, and he's and he's actually in our backyard.
Oh, is he?
So he pours with some of that ElasTech, and I thought his baits felt good.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit on the big side for me. He had some cool color schemes. He beat me to one of them, which is it's that situation's gonna get handled this weekend.
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm that's gonna be a drop, which we can say something about that later. But yeah, with the dead on stuff, you're probably in the same boat I was.
Mhm.
Started with like the Do It Plastisol,
Yeah.
just to test the water, see if it's something you like.
Mhm.
I don't know how you felt about it. The stench was what really, it gave me a headache.
Yeah, well, for me, for it to do it, I just got used to it because because I worked there.
Sure, yeah.
And so I just got used to it. But I'm trying. But I have 2 5-gallon buckets of their stuff. So
oh man, yeah. So you got a whole bunch of stuff.
I got a whole bunch of plastic, so I got to use that up before I go and switch to like dead on and stuff like that. So
yeah, that'd be it. I mean, I think we could have a little discussion about the Plastisol thing. If you're really looking to get started and maybe just have like a gallon or something, and you're in the Iowa realm, like don't feel afraid to try it. I get a headache from it personally.
yeah,
It stinks. I also noticed too that our fish around here kind of like the dead on plastic scent a little bit, which you wouldn't think there'd be a scent to it, but dead on definitely has a smell. All plastics have a smell afterwards. I don't know if you're doing the scent thing of putting scent in.
I put scents in my plastic.
Oh, you do?
So,
okay. So,
not when I make it, but afterwards in like packaging.
Sure, which I thought about it. I was really looking at maybe getting into like a garlic type thing. I wanted to keep something more on the clear side. So I do have Do-Its. They have a really good scent.
Yeah.
It's the Triple Threat.
Yeah.
Is a really good one. I will say this, guys, when you're using that, use with caution. Maybe not put it on your baits right away. Maybe wait until you're out on the boat to put it on. All your plastics are porous. It will take on that scent very quickly. And so that's maybe a way to get around it without staining a bait. That was a big thing for me. I didn't want my bait stained.
So it's like a yellow?
It's brown. It's
brown.
brown.
It's brown?
It's like, dude, it stinks.
Okay.
It stinks. It's got a good scent though. It's crushed leeches, minnows, and night crawlers. I mean, what more could you ask for?
I mean,
you're hitting the three majors.
That's in a hot summer day,
Oh yeah, man. It's but also it'll like kind of dry out and it'll kind of stain your bait. So I just kind of Travis and I kind of got away from doing that because we do have. I can't believe I didn't even bring them, but we do a bait called Char America.
Okay.
So it's clear body, and it's got red and silver and blue flake and a chartreuse tail. That's Trav's bait of choice. If you ever watch him in the boat and watch him work, it's absolutely, that's the first bait he's throwing.
Okay.
Actually, the first bait I'm throwing is gonna be this bait right here. This is my favorite here, and so this is the Finesse Fluke, and this is the sunny color, and so it's to mimic like a kind of like a sunfish.
Okay.
And so 2 weeks ago we were out on the river, and we just gotten there super early in the morning. Long boat ride, and those guys are like, "Well, we're gonna eat some breakfast," and I'm like, "Well, I'm gonna fish because I don't get to fish a whole lot, guys. Like, I don't care about eating some breakfast. I'm gonna fish."
Yeah.
And so I threw out that first cast and I let it drop down and I popped it once and wham, and I set the hook and I go biggin. I got a biggin, and they're like, "Are you serious?" And I'm like, "Dude, I got a big fish. Like, we're gonna need the net." And so they're all like scrambling around to like get this net, and I'm just working this fish, slowly, because she had a lot of power. And he's like, "Dude, we forgot the net." I'm like, "Oh man." So Trav goes, "When you get it up to the boat," he goes, "I'm gonna hand grab it." So, okay, dude, whatever. And Yeah, and so got her up to the boat, and he's like, "Oh man, that's a big walleye. That's a really nice walleye." And got her up. That one was, I think, 28 inches.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I can't remember what she weighed. I want to say she was like close to 9 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So it was that's a
Yeah.
pretty big caliber fish for around here. You know,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when you're catching that size and doing it, I mean, I've had some really good fall feed
Mhm.
action. Not like this late spring, early summer stuff,
Mhm.
but here, let Colin play around with this. But this is like a brown top with purple flake, and that's that in the triple tail. That's what a lot of my buddies like to fish this.
There you go.
But yeah, it's got a
Like I
good
said,
shimmer and all
yeah.
that to it.
The flake in it, and like I said, this does not feel cheaply made by any means of the imagination.
No, it's
Well,
all
that's-
good stuff. It feels meaty when they bite into
Mhm.
it. They think that they're getting something,
Mhm.
when they hit this. And I don't know, like you're gonna have your days for the short strikes, like.
Mhm.
But usually, what I kind of came to figure out with the short strikes is usually a smaller caliber of fish, anyways.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the hindsight thing is it great to go out and catch, 25s and 28s all day? Yeah, it is. It's fantastic, and I love doing it. The other side of things is, man, where are all my 15s to 19s? Because that's what I eat,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to bring some fish home to my wife. And then,
Well,
Now, with that being said, do you make like a one for like your panfish guys? For like your diehard crappie, bluegill, perch guys.
So I just ventured into the crappie world.
Dang! Oops! Hold on. There we go. There we
just set it off over there.
Yeah,
somewhere.
that's what we're doing.
I just ventured into that adventure. So like we were just talking just a few minutes ago about the triple tails and the smaller size. So I actually have somebody that I have to pour for this weekend. Actually, I was going to pour that tonight, but obviously I was like, I got this thing I gotta do, so that's gonna have to get set aside. But I'm gonna do something really wicked with that. I'm gonna do black neon over chartreuse.
Okay.
And like I was talking to you, can you dual pour that or not? Like I hadn't really played with that mold a whole lot.
Yeah, I think you can.
I think it's set up the same way as the pro molds for
Yeah.
my big triple tails.
Yeah.
If it is, then yeah, I'm not gonna have any problem.
I just know like do its rippers. You can't dual inject that unless you have their essential series, XL ones. For some reason, do its ripper swim bait mold. You can't dual inject that. You get the swirls.
Yes and no, because you're talking the 3 and the 2, right?
The 3.5.
No,
Oh.
I'm just talking about the mold itself.
Just the singles.
Oh, just the singles. You can't.
Yeah, the singles you can't dual inject.
Or do you?
If you want me to toy with that sometime and tell you I have a really steady hand,
Okay.
that could probably happen.
Okay.
Some of them are not set up right though, so like it might be split like center down the way.
Yeah.
So like the left side would be one color and the right side
yeah.
would be the other color, and if that's what you're talking about, that could
I
be.
was thinking top and bottom of it, like how fish have the lateral line,
Yeah.
and then there's the top is darker, belly's lighter.
Right. Sometimes, yeah, some molds are actually legit set up that way. I know I can't believe I didn't even bring any of my paddle tails to show you guys, but my paddle tails, I have 2 20 cavity ones,
yeah.
but you don't dual pour those. You can't.
Yeah.
It's a split center. and you know it's got a single runner down the center,
Mhm.
and then you know you have your 10 on each side.
Mhm.
That one you can't. It's fun that you're talking about the swirling.
Mhm.
That's a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
I think it's underappreciated
Yeah.
by us as humans.
Mhm.
We could milk the cow, as they call
Yeah.
it. That's gonna happen
Yeah.
at some point. I'm gonna try it. I
Yeah.
might try it this weekend because I'm gonna already have the stuff out and I'm gonna do all those crappie baits
Mhm.
for that guy. I was like, oh, I'm gonna do some of them for me too, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna do that in a big pour and all that.
Mhm.
You know, the triple tails and all that,
Mhm.
because I'm like, dude, I've always wanted to do that.
Mhm.
It's like one of my friends, he fishes like Snag Creek,
Yep.
and you know, Jake be Jakin'. That's all you can say about that dude. If you know Jake, you know Jake. He's just that way. Die hard black chartreuse. Like that guy's like super die hard about it, and so I kind of wanted to do this and be like, hey homie, here's some baits, you know, because
Yeah.
he's a really good friend, like, and like he's actually the reason I got the tube molds. You know,
Okay.
I got tubes, the spline tubes and
Mhm.
all that from Angling AI.
Mhm.
They're a pain in the butt to do.
Uh,
I wish I would have spent my money or spent a little bit more money and got the fat guys ones now that I know what I know.
yeah.
Because their mold is actually instead of using a spline insert, you know, because that's what makes the tails on the tubes,
Mhm.
and then obviously the head
Mhm.
on it, you know, and then you have to peel them off and then pull out the insert and stick it back in. Well, Fat Guys came up with this great idea that they made the legs for the tubes and all
Mhm.
that, but then you just stick just a straight insert in
Mhm.
there. It's like just a round insert.
Yeah.
You pour it, you pull it open, you pull your thing out, you throw your bait in the bucket,
Mhm.
throw your sprue off to the side, and you're done.
Yeah.
Boom. Throw your splines back in instead of peeling each
Yeah.
single one. Very time consuming
Yeah.
process.
Well, and that's what Dewitt's has for their tubes is that spline,
Yeah,
and
I just didn't go with their
because they're singles.
Well, it wasn't that. It was so stinking expensive.
Yeah.
That's like if you have one of those, like that's super expensive.
Mhm.
Like that's a super expensive mold to have.
Oh yeah. And I got a few over there.
Yeah, I kind of noticed. I kind of looked. I don't know if you've seen me when I first walked in here. I was just kind of like, hey, what does he got going on over here? Because that's just what I do when I go into
Yeah.
somebody else's bait shop. It's hard for me
Yeah.
not to just be like, dude, what's this guy got going on? What's that? Oh, that's cool. You
Kind of
know,
like me when I walk into an archery shop, like, ooh, what,
right,
Yeah.
what do you got over here? You know,
right. I just have to look.
Yeah.
I'm just that guy.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And I kind of ventured into tubes a little bit,
Mhm.
but I tried to get into crappie tubes, and the two molds I got are just they're too small for me, and I don't know. I'm just like I kind of jacked that
Yeah.
one up, but I kind of got something smaller than what I thought I was getting, and
Mhm.
you know, and so unfortunately they're just gonna have to get for sale, but.
Yeah, I don't do anything with tubes, so if somebody wants one, I'll be like, all right, I'll make a couple up and hand it to them and be like, here you go. But
Yeah.
I don't do anything with tubes. I don't fish them, so
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Boy, there's a couple dudes that go down the river and they just absolutely hammer giant smallmouths
with tubes,
with tubes.
really.
But the other fun thing about it is, and these guys are so like legit, like it's like they have their head in the tube and that's all that they're doing, and they're just popping it. Well, all of a sudden then they pull up like a 20-inch walleye with these things,
yeah.
and it's like you know, maybe there's something to that madness that I've missed too, but I don't know. I kind of stick to my guns. I like my paddle tails. Definitely love my triple tails, which I got my last couple bags that I did bring with me for you guys to check out in the triple tails. those are been our bread and butter. Last year it was Blue Craw. I seen your Blue Craw over there.
Yeah.
I was checking it out. I'm like, oh, he almost got my recipe, but didn't.
Yeah.
We can have some off air time talk about that, and I can give you a couple.
I haven't done anything else with the Blue Craw, and I was just reviewing it for the YouTube channel, and I haven't done nothing else with it just yet.
Yeah, but I seen you got the. I just was looking and I saw that you had the eye craws over there from Do It. Now, guys that don't understand what I'm talking about, when you get into craw molds get super, super, super expensive. So if you guys aren't out going and selling these baits on like a level that I'm at now, which I think that I could still sell the eye craws. It's not as much eye candy in quotation marks. It has a little bit duller of a finish because it's a cast mold.
Yeah.
We all know the deal with the cast molds. Great mold. Great looking mold. Absolutely. If you want to represent a craw, they look fire.
Yeah.
They look absolutely fire.
The eye craws, so far from anybody else that I've seen that sells a craw mold, those eye craws look exactly like an actual crawfish.
They do. I think that the only reason I kind of stepped up in caliber a little bit, and I did run across the deal, I ended up I spent a ton of money. My wife was pissed. I had a guy that he put out a post, and I'd always wanted to do like the beaver tails, you know, for the bass baits. So it'd be like the Angling AI stingers. They had that in the 325 and the 4-inch.
Okay.
So this guy had this, and he wanted to sell it as a whole package deal, and everyone's like, "Oh, I'll hit you up with if you just want to sell me one or two." And this guy's like, "I just kind of want to sell this all together." And he's like, "I also got these, you know, I got the 3/4 ecto craws too." And I'm like, "Oh God, here we go!" Like from one guy, and I was just like, "Hey, dude, like, what do you gotta have out of this?" And he goes, "Well, I'm trying to get custom molds made, and I've already purchased them, so I'm just trying to recoup some money back for this." And he's like, "I'm going to tell you that these stinger molds, they don't make these stinger molds like this." And I'm like, "No, they make this in that type of cavity." He goes, "No, not anymore, dude." And I'm like, "Oh, really?" And so I looked at it, and I'm like, "Holy cow, like this guy's got the holy grail of the holy grails." I'm like, I have to buy these because first off, I wanted to do those baits. And then the second thing was, it was like, now I can mass produce.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So it was, I had like, so I got like, it was like 6 or 7 of the 325 stinger molds, and I already had one from another guy, and then I got like, I think it was like 4 or 5 of these 4-inch ones that they don't even make that cavity count anymore. Like Angling AI just does not do it, and it's like, I have them now, and they dual pour really good. So I like, you know, I was just that in the ecto craws, and then I was like, "Oh, they're having another sale at Angling AI. I better buy some more of those ecto craws so I can knock these out," you know, because 4 cavity count, but you know, you can, it's one single sprue, so you can dual pour it. Make sure you guys aren't pouring that upside down. I do that to myself sometimes. Now I label a T and a B on my
bottom.
Top bottom to know what you're doing, because there's nothing that makes a guy more angry than wanting to pour something for yourself or friends, or if you're selling them, and then you're like, "Ah, crap, I poured that upside down." You know, and I did it. I did it. I literally just did it.
Yeah, I've done that before too. I was like, well, okay, this is a goofy looking craw, but
Yeah, I did it on my wife's baits,
oh,
and so I was like, oh, dude, like here, we'll hide these into this package. We'll throw those in an R&D box down below, so
yep,
nobody's got to know. You know.
yep, yeah. I think I had like 7 eye craws over there just because
Mm-hmm.
when the screw broke off, and it's like, well, can't sell that now.
Well, I was gonna say something too, like these guys shouldn't be afraid to venture in the iCraw XL mold.
Yeah,
I started with that mold.
Mhm.
Very great mold, single hole, 4 cavity.
Yep.
They're like, dude, they're like $100 and some bucks.
yeah,
Brand new.
yeah,
And it's like, you know, if you're gonna go out and do it for yourself,
yeah.
like, and you don't care about it having a dull finish, the fish don't care.
No,
Trust
fish
me,
don't care.
the fish don't care. At that point, it's catching the fisherman's eye.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you get your colors down.
Mhm.
Like, I looked over here, I seen blue craw.
Mhm.
I definitely saw that you were close on my kiwis.
Yeah.
You must have been playing around with
Yeah.
that a little bit. Your color's spot on, but like some of the glitter is like.
That was actually just a review.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you were like so close. I call that my emerald shift color.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got like holographic.
Okay.
It's got some holographic in it and
Okay.
stuff like that. So you were like super duper close. That's like actually probably the same consistency that
Yeah.
I pour,
Okay.
and I can just tell from your plugs
Yeah.
that's how disgusting it is at the point that I'm at.
Yeah.
I've just poured so much that I understand
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I think you were kind of talking about. I think it was this. Was it this bait here
I don't remember.
that you're talking about the flake?
No, that was I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. about
So I don't know. Is there other like pourers that watch your content?
that.
You think?
I got not SDG, but Bait Chuckin did one video. I don't know if he does other ones, but I know
that's cool.
NW not into the woods. Bar Down Baits does.
Okay, sure,
So-
sure. I would be willing to give away a secret just to
Okay.
help people out,
Yep.
and I think we'll wait for Colin to come
Yeah,
back
yeah.
to do that. But I'll like let these guys see this. So this one I actually had a
Is that copper flake in that one?
No, it's not.
No.
So the
It
first
looks
time,
copper.
right? So the first time that this guy hit me up on this bait, I thought that and it's called Mexican spice.
Oh
And,
yeah. Okay.
You know, it's a big 6 cents
Oh,
color,
Yep.
and he basically was like, I need this in a 3-inch paddle tail. And I said, dude, you deal with 6 cents there. You know, some of their stuff is pretty affordable at some points. You know, like it's really hard to get off of that when they're like charging like $4 or $5 a bag because they're on sale. Like holy cow! Like I can't even
Yeah.
I can't cover my plastisol costs. You know, at
Yeah.
that point.
Do you make ones like these as well?
Yeah, I definitely make stuff like this, which I can get into that in a second.
That
I
flashed on
just-
me
I just-
horribly.
Yeah, made horribly, but as you can see with Mason, I mean that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I pour.
again, these
twisters.
guys don't do anything on the cheap end when it comes to this. These two guys know exactly what they're talking about here. That's why I haven't really said too much yet.
Well, he was going to share something while you took off.
Yeah, nature called. I'm sorry.
So we'll let these guys see this real quick here. This is the Mexican spice color. I don't know if you guys can see that glimmer in there.
Yeah, we'll take one out.
Yeah,
So,
take one out here.
I just can't get over the quality with these.
They just feel meaty.
What's either one that you guys do, and I mean, my thing is, I'm not. Everybody that watches knows that I'm not so much the fisherman. I like to go. I'll be old school. Hook and bobber with the minnow or whatever.
Well,
every once in a while, I'll get into with the soft baits and everything. I'll tamper with them.
Well, he has for him, because I only have straight Essential Series plastic from Do It.
Mm-hmm.
This you have different blends of plastisol. Don't you?
Well, I kind of Travis and I kind of toyed around with a few things, and we toyed around with like the white bucket blend, which is their floating compound, and I didn't really care for that very much. It just set up too fast, and I like to stay steady and methodical while pouring now, because your baits are going to come out a heck of a lot cleaner. I mean, it's going to make sense here in a second when I give away this big tip. For the guys to see,
Camera's right there, the lens.
So I don't know if you guys can see. You see that sparkle? It's almost like got like a shimmer in that chartreuse. So
I just can't get over that it's the quality of it, because a lot of the soft baits that I've used have only been from big box stores, Cabela's, Bass Pro,
well, and
or
I noticed
Berkeley with
they're
their
a lot
outlet
harder
store.
than, because is it like a harder blend that you're using?
So I'm using their black bucket blend, which is their sinking blend.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm using that in the jerk bait.
Yeah.
Now everyone's like, oh well, if I do Senkos and this and that, guys, don't fall into the thing like I'm sorry, I shouldn't even call them Senkos, but since everyone knows what a Senko is, I call them stick baits.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get sued.
Yeah.
That's a big thing. Like,
Yeah.
you do not call them Senkos. You can't sell them as Senkos,
Yeah.
because Gary Yamato has that, which that's another cool thing about Do It. They got the Gary Yamato Senkos 100% size. Everyone talks about salts and drop rates, and your drop rate's going to differ and all this and that. Okay, like, I get you. I get that the drop rate's going to be a little bit different. When you have salt, it's going to probably make it fall a little faster. When you put salt into plastisol, that bait is actually a lot weaker. I don't think it does anything for the fish.
No.
Personally, when they bite it, I don't feel like when I have one of his Senkos on my hook and I go out and fish that it's any better than my stick baits. I've actually kind of learned that my drop rate's a little slower, and so it's giving that wiggle and that worm mentality going down. That drop rate is similar. It's not as fast, but now you have a high quality bait. I can catch 2 to 3 fish off of a stick bait. He makes a great product, don't get me wrong. He's revolutionized everything. I wouldn't fall into the salt thing just yet. It will change your colors when you do that. So you have to watch that. And there is a measurement. I can't remember what it is. I had it all figured out, and I just said, the heck with it. I'm not doing that. My customers didn't even think that it was any better. I actually had people test this. I spent thousands of dollars on plastisol, poured the stuff, and let people go out and test it that were in bass tournaments and all that. But
I don't throw any salt in my stick baits at all.
I don't think that's going to do you much. I mean, like, especially if you're using like the dead on sinking blend. You could put some media in it if you really needed to. If you wanted to change that drop rate, if you want it to drop faster, I don't know. Like, I guess I'm kind of getting more towards the finesse side with that. I'm more patient on the drop.
Yeah.
Give that time to work that fish.
Yep.
But back to what I was saying about this. So you kind of mentioned something like, hey, is that chartreuse flake in that? No, it's not. The first thing that I want to tell everyone about chartreuse, if you're ever going to pour chartreuse, gold flake or something gold in it will always make it pop. That chartreuse, that's a hot chartreuse.
Yeah.
That's bright in your face. Like that's a really bold chartreuse.
Yeah.
And that doesn't even have any of my favorite chartreuse, which is Charline.
Yeah.
This is just a straight chartreuse from them.
Would you ever do just a straight chartreuse color?
I do. That one's called Zombie Snot. I should have brought some of that. So what I'm doing with this, guys, and like how I was trying to show you the shimmer here. I don't know if you can really see it from it rolling here.
Yeah,
Maybe
there is a little bit of shimmer in
if
that.
you can see the shimmer in that, what I do with that is I put a gold shift powder in that. So it's a super micro powder. You can get away with using a little, and it will go a long ways. Now, that's the great side of things. These baits look really great here. I will say that there are some other ones that are back at my house. You get some bleed over if you're not watching what you're doing, if your temps, viscosity's off. Yeah, that's Trav's favorite color.
That one is
That's
pretty
bold.
freaking cool.
That thing's bold.
Mm-hmm.
I made that.
I'm not a
Trav.
fisherman by like these two are by any means,
But I would definitely, that would be the first thing I would throw.
Exactly. I would like I said, I'm more of a panfish guy and stuff. But if I was for like walleyes and everything, this color scheme right here would be my go-to. Just it catches my eye off the bat with everything that goes into it.
Yeah, so like my whole concept with this bait here is called Pimp Daddy. I spent buckets and buckets of plastisol trying to figure stuff out to get what I considered the right amount to get that really. I wanted a really deep purple, but then I wanted a green, a green hue on the bottom, but I wanted it to flash and just catch your eye.
This is like I said, I'm the hunter out of the group here. I mean, Chris hunts. I mean, we all hunt together and everything. But going off of this, guys, honestly, look him up and get some of these quality baits. I mean, just the way that they're talking about. I mean, the camera can't do this any justice. I wish we had a better camera for this.
For me,
the quality in these things is I can't get over on the quality, and it goes. I mean, this guy doesn't skimp on anything, whether it's with the fishing, with the hunting, with
for me,
long range shooting and stuff. This guy does not skimp when it comes to quality, because if it's not up to his par, you can bet your rear end on it. It's not gonna hit the shelves. It's gonna be remelted, redone, whatever it is that he's gonna do until he gets it to where he would want it. Because if it's something that he ain't gonna buy, that damn thing every time he gets
I love it. Shut that thing off, and I'm like, no, leave it on. It's cool.
It's chickadee.
Yeah, I know. I hate the chickadee. They're so annoying. Even in the wild, they're the most annoying bird. But anyways. That's what it almost sounds like.
But no, they do make that noise.
Yeah, I know they do. I hear them.
This bait, it just shows that I'm going to have to start throwing in a lot more flake into my baits. Because I skimp out on the flake, and I'm like, oh, that'll work. No, that
See,
one right there shows I'm gonna have to.
And like
throw
I
in
said,
more.
just going off this and knowing how some of the panfish act when it comes to colors.
Oh man, that thing would slay crappies. I
Yeah.
need to make
That's
that
what I'm
crappie
talking
bait.
about. And when I saw his chartreuse color green, like with the other one, it's like, God, imagine if you had some of these bright colors. Because I've had the most, when it comes to panfish, and whether it be the perch, the crappies, the bluegills and stuff, they are wanting to hit that high visible color. Yeah, like this. Like the green in here. Now imagine if it was like a pink, a yellow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just with that, to have it that shine and everything, I think would just be absolute dynamite.
Mm-hmm.
Come any time of the year if you're wanting to do panfish. And I know a lot of people would, you know, when you're ice fishing and stuff and you're sitting there jigging and everything, you know, I think it'd be
I have
awesome.
some color schemes that I don't think a whole lot of other people do. You know,
that color's, I mean, right here's the proof of the pudding.
That bluegill one, yeah, especially.
I put my heart and soul into that, but you know,
Well, that one shows I'm definitely gonna have to throw in more flake. I'm gonna have to get some dead on flake. That's all I know. Because that is freaking amazing.
I can guarantee you right now that doesn't have any dead on flake in it.
Oh, it doesn't?
But
Well,
I can guarantee you that I can help you
It
replicate
sure looks
something.
like that.
It's just overloaded with
Yeah, I know
flake,
it's overloaded
and
with flake.
And it's just, dude, it just sings a song to my soul. I
I
love
mean, if
that bluegill color,
Yeah.
guys. Like, look at that.
Well, lure works, do it in flake, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, dude, Dewitt's got some. They've got some really nice holographic flakes that I don't think that people have tried to expand on.
No. Well, then for that reasoning too, is I've also noticed is that Dewitt's flake is a little bit more expensive, especially their X2 colorant. They're a little bit more expensive on their end on that.
Let's have a discussion about that. I love where this is going. You know where the bag went for these? I was gonna leave this for you guys.
Oh,
It's right here.
okay.
You guys can split them up, or I can get you some other bags or something.
I mean,
I got bags too.
Unfortunately, the bluegill ones have to come.
Yeah.
out with me, but
damn it.
that's
But
the last bag I have. of them.
He's going to
Yeah.
end up losing at least 2 of those bluegill colors. Just before we leave here, he's got to ride home with me. So
Well, and
I suppose I could just leave them here and I'll just pour it again, but that's legit. I could steal them from my wife's
oh, there you go.
stash. I do have a wife stash. I literally have a wife stash.
Yeah.
She's got a peg on my board, and it's just for her stuff.
Yeah.
You guys saw the bloody bait fish that I did.
Yeah.
That was that black over red.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't me, guys.
That was her.
That was all her, what she wanted.
Really? Ah.
That was her thing, and I was just like, oh, that's kind of dumb. I'm like, wait a minute, what is it dumb?
Yeah.
Am I stretching? I go, hold on a minute here, because I fish black with red in it. I call that black neon.
Yeah.
And I go, that's one of my favorite colors to fish. Why am I being so rude?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, heck yeah, I'll pour you that.
Yeah. Yep.
Big hit.
Yeah.
Big hit.
But like I was saying before though, with Do-It stuff, you know, they're a little bit more expensive, but I've noticed with their X2 colorant, you don't have to put as much drops into the plastisol like you would dead-ons. So
I love there is like one color of X2,
yeah.
and I will showcase it all day, every day. Everybody makes a different green pumpkin.
Yep.
Everybody does. Every company, it doesn't matter who it is, Lure Works, Dead On.
Well, and I noticed
all
that with motor oil too.
We're going to have a good talk about that one too. That's a good one to have a discussion about.
you can already tell, guys, this is going to lead into a whole nother podcast deal. Because we're right now, we're just tickling the surface on this whole ordeal, because
Yeah.
you see the quality and the imagination part go on it. Like I said, we not only are we fishermen, but we are hunters. This guy has done stuff with food plots that me and Mason being the horticulture, and I'll just come out and say it, we were like, is Chris fucking high?
He did. There's a lot of people that, why are you doing that?
With the food plot deals, I mean, his property, Graceland, it is a working tree farm, and it's landlocked. And the whole deal with it is how can we draw more animals into our area? And I came up with the idea, well, you got to give them something different. And I shit you not, guys, this guy went into so much research, the amount of people that he talked to on it, and me and Mason are like, this shit ain't gonna fucking work. It's not. How can it? But to have the amount of fruit trees that you have put on your property and all the work that you've done on it.
We did a lot, yeah.
Oh my Lord. Between your chestnuts, your persimmons, your 3 or 4 different types of apple trees that you now have that are planted out there.
I think I have 5. I think. Yeah,
Okay.
I got 5.
I could distinctly tell 3 different ones the last time I was out there this spring turkey hunt.
Yep.
And you wouldn't think that shit draws turkeys, the deer, everything. The amount of deer now that I have seen on Graceland, the first 2 years, we were all like, oh, what are we doing? You know? And this guy was like, hold off. Oh, my Jesus. The way he came up with the food plot scheme is like, we were like, we're going to clear out, we're going to put in, you know, the brassicas, the turnips, this, that, everything else, and do it that way. And this motherfucker took it up. He's like, dude, why don't we? He flipped it around to where it benefited the tree farm more,
right? And
went with the trees. And I can't believe more people aren't wanting to go this route in the industry when it comes to because first thing when you think of food plots, the last thing you're thinking about is planting fucking fruit trees and everything else around. Well, you guys went, it's everybody's, we got to do the brassicas, we got to do corn, we got to do soybeans, we got to do, you know, the turnips, the radishes. And you just like, well, what about this oak tree when it drops, and this one when it's dropping, and you got the apple trees, and this one drops then, and this one's going to finish this time frame. Well, and then you got the persimmon trees.
But also, people got to realize that when they're doing food plots,
they're doing a lot of monoculture.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of monoculture. Yeah. Well, what he did after thinking about it, what he did with their flowering is benefiting bees.
Exactly.
It's going to benefit anything and everything else.
Right.
You got to start off with not just one species. You got to think of all the species.
Right,
Yeah.
and
So
the clear cutting helped with.
We had a big invasion problem with the multiflora rose.
Yeah.
That was
buckthorn.
Yeah.
Oh God,
gosh, guys, that's
I just healed from that just a few weeks ago one time when I got into it, and I'd hit the sunlight and you could just see my whole arms. I'd just blister up like a mother, and I just got over it.
That wasn't buckthorn. That was.
It was multiflora rose and something else that I got.
No, it's that flowering white, that yellow flowering thing.
Isn't that
wild parsnip?
The wild parsnip. Yeah. That was horrible out there too.
Yeah.
Oh God, that was nasty. But being out there this spring, I have yet to step foot out there and not see a minimum of at least 5 or 6 deer that are in these areas with the apple trees, the oak trees, the chestnut trees, the persimmon trees. The persimmon trees, I think you hit a fucking home run on.
That
out there
that
because
was
the amount of deer sign that is in that area just blows my mind. Granted, now this has always been a hot spot anyways. It's the deer movement through there is tenfold now.
Oh, definitely.
Well, okay, so starting out, what did you do, or what did you want?
So, my whole thing was with the persimmon trees was to find something that could handle some flooding issues.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, I can't find anything that can really handle that besides oaks and stuff. And
Yeah.
I need to get something jump started just a little bit sooner. I'd like to be able to hunt it in my lifetime, you know? And so we went and cleared out that, south ditch.
Yep.
And
which was the easiest one to clear out.
it
by
was
far.
definitely the easiest one. We can go into the other clearing measures that happened later because it was insane.
Oh God.
But we put them down there in that lowland area because they can withstand some flooding. So I got a 2-for-1 on this, guys. So if you get fruited trees, which I ended up buying mine from Coldstream Farms and
Yep.
had them shipped to Iowa. They're from Michigan, so I'm like, ooh, you know, Midwest represent, you know. And that was the only place I could really find them. I didn't know that you could buy from other DNR sites and stuff like that. I didn't know that was a thing at that time. Their trees are great, by the way. I got my chestnuts from there. We actually started with the chestnuts and cleared out this little timber area that just had a bunch of fallen trees, multiflora rose, buckthorn. It got to the point where it was so thick that even the deer couldn't even move through it. I mean, they couldn't even utilize it.
Yeah.
You know, and we ended up clearing that out and planted those trees. And that first year, I was like, man, ooh, these are, you know, I just got little baby ones. You know, they were only.
Oh God, they're you got some that are
8 foot. Yeah, they're 8-10 foot tall now.
Yeah, and I mean,
this is
some of them
4
were
years, 5 years maybe.
Yeah.
You guys kind of came and helped with those when we were putting them in.
Yeah, because some of them I noticed were going to flower.
Yeah.
This year too with the chestnuts.
Yep.
And I noticed that some of the persimmons were. There was a couple out there that had flowers.
Yeah, there
on
was
them.
a couple of them that were like super trees, and they grew like. So just the backstory it a little bit. I use not on my chestnuts. Those were my dad's babies. He wanted to put stakes and fencing around it. Good for you, man. You wanted to spend the money on it. It was Dad spent. He spent just as much on that as I did the trees and. You know, the other stuff, but you know, that was the stakes was like $700 or something.
Yeah, and like I said, they didn't skimp on any of this, and it's now showing. Because like I said, I was out there this spring, and the amount of wildlife in that area now, it didn't only help out your chunk, but the neighboring chunks.
The neighboring chunks, man. That
I mean,
that guy to the west of me should be very thankful. He should be very thankful that I put that in there, because now what's happening is he's got a chunk where nobody can really get to. The deer are bedding on that.
Yep.
And it's absolutely disgusting to go through. I hope nobody has to track a deer like I did when I shot Tiny. Sore subject. I know.
Oh, don't.
I know.
Hey,
that was.
I was there this past fall with 2 incidences that cost me giant deer.
Yep.
And I know the feeling. When you're a bow hunter, it's gonna happen. You're gonna have that, and for me to have it happen twice, Mason can vouch. This year, I am on a hell-bent path to make sure that it does not happen again. With the amount that I'm shooting, I'm practicing, doing all that to make sure. But again, with these food plots and everything, it's like, you know, I'm still the original because I don't have lease ground. You know, he's graceful enough to let me go out and deer hunt on their property when they're not utilizing it. And the other property, this is only year 2 now that I've been able to actually do this. And because of one certain apple tree where it's getting its flowering from, this year we were not able to go the tree route, but I had explained it to the landowner, and he, he's all about herd management, herd health, and everything. And Mason we'll get into our new affiliates that we're with now to be able to help better promote the herd health and stuff. And that's what our main guy is about. And he's like, when I had a long chat with him about it and told him everything and the benefits that I was seeing, he was like, yes, because this apple tree, he said, is pushing 100 years old.
Oh, really? Holy smokes. It's probably a big one.
I mean, it's not very tall, but I mean, it's a big around apple tree. And it looks like it's dead, but it's still producing, and he still is able to make he likes having his apple pies made from that tree.
Well,
and
maybe you guys need to get out the grafting sticks and,
That's exactly what he's going to do.
Get some rootstock and graft, yeah. I'm not good at that, so that's not my thing. So just so you guys know, I'm terrible at it.
I don't do any grafting because
that's what he wants to do to continue with this apple tree. And when he does it, he says, that's when I want you guys to go out and plant these trees to be able to make sure, because the other tree I just found out this spring, it took a turn for the worse, but it happened that this apple tree was able to, it's going to produce this year, but this is going to be its last year that it's up and around.
Oh shoot, that stinks.
So that's why he's wanting to make sure
you're so dead
he's
set.
waiting. That's why he's waiting. I think he's getting ready to start doing that whole deal now, or has started the process.
Yeah.
So that way he can carry that tree's tradition on the farm.
The grafting for me, I've tried it, and I never was successful with it. So
yeah, I haven't been successful with it. It's because I don't really know.
This guy's going to have having somebody come in to get it started for him.
Yeah, good. Yep.
And then he's going to grow it down in his basement until he can transplant it.
Yep, sure.
When it's healthy enough, so that way it's there, and he can sit there and say, "This is the offshoot from the original apple tree that was planted on the farm so many years ago." And we've got the green light that we can actually plant some trees out there. And I know that if we do a quarter of what Chris has done, I mean, this is the farm that I have. This is the farm that I don't know if I've got it up or if Mason can do it, but we've got pictures of a buck last year that my kid nicknamed Mr. Krabs because he had 2 crab claws on his rack that came out, and they looked just like exact crab claws. And I mean, it was only, he ended up being a deer that got shot opening day of shotgun season, but I had 3 encounters with him.
Yeah.
And I had one where
breaks your heart, doesn't it?
Oh, it breaks your heart when you're sitting and doing your first all day sit, and it's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. You just sat through the rain. I do a calling sequence, and I see this deer, and I'm like, oh, that's a deer. And I'm getting ready because I'm like, ooh, I got a doe tag, I got my buck tag. I'm like, I'm shooting whatever's coming out, And then all of a sudden I go, ooh, buck. And then I go, oh shit, crabs.
Yeah.
And he's 50 yards in front of me, and he starts to parallel me, and I'm like, all right, he answered once. I'm going to snort wheeze him. I know there's only him and one other buck. And he hated the other buck. Krabs wanted to be the dominant one. And he's paralleling me, and I range him 35 yards. And you're probably thinking, why the fuck aren't you shooting? But he's on a steady walk, and then he stops just out of my opening, and I see him turn like he's going to head west towards the river. I'm like, mother. I snort wheezed at him. He wheeled 360 right there as quick as what he could, dead nose my area, and frickin' snort wheezed right back. I'm like, oh boy, here we go. He gonna come, and he's coming down the trail that I'm thinking, oh my god, this is gonna come out this is going to be textbook. I'm going to get a 10-yard broadside shot. This deer ain't going to know what hit him. He's coming down the trail 15 yards. And I'm at full draw. I'm just waiting. That goddamn deer turns and comes up the path. I'm like, what the fuck? And he starts coming up into the thick, nasty stuff that I'm in. And he walks 10 yards. And I can't get a shot. I can't get a shot. It's too thick. Gun, this deer I would have shot instantly. Okay? On your sanctuary part, that's how thick this little part is that I'm sitting in.
That's super thick.
It's
super thick. Yep.
It is. But it's open grass in the area. This year I got it all mowed down now. It's the only thick stuff is still where the stand is, but there's gonna be a blind there this year.
Yeah.
But he gets up into there and he's got his butt turned to me, but he's at just enough of an angle. I'm sitting here, I'm at full draw. And and Mason knows, if I can squeeze an arrow through an opening, I'm squeezing an arrow through an opening because and these guys can vouch for it. I get to the point to where I know what my arrow is going to do at 10 yards, at 15 yards, because I'll shoot from elevated positions. I'll shoot from the ground. So I understand the arc of what the path that my arrow is going to take, and understand it to the degree of what opening is that arrow going to hit. Mm-hmm. And I could not find a single opening where I was not 100% sure my vein or arrow would not hit a single twig, because shooting an expandable broadhead, we all know, it just takes that one slight deflection. Shooting a mechanical, even if it's blade, that you can kick your arrow and not have it hit right. I knew I would hit him. I knew I would fatally hit him, but would it be a fatal hit of I'm going to find him 3 days later? Or is it going to be a fatal hit that I'm going to hit him and I'm going to watch him tip over in the pick bean field?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And on a deer of that caliber, I wasn't going to risk it.
Yeah, you just can't risk it. I mean, I've been there.
And like I said, he's there 10 yards making a scrape, and then he's grunting. I grunt back at him, and he acts like he's going to turn. But then it's almost like he knew I was there. And I was like, well, okay, I'm going to get rewarded. He ends up going out in the field. Hot dough comes out, and he, boom, beelines where I'm like, damn. And those are the only 2 deer I saw that entire sit. But it made it sitting all day worthwhile. And I got rewarded a week later sitting in that same stand. I'm out there with my wife's cousin. He's about 200 yards straight south of me next to the river. I see the good medium buck come by. And I'm like, no, you get a pass. I ain't shooting you. I know what's out here. And I see he just gets off in the thing. And I hear, bird, bird. And I hear that through the tall grass coming. I'm like, all right, I know this is a buck. And just I could tell from his grunt, this was a bigger bodied deer. And then all I see coming through, I see a giant rack, giant pearl white rack. And I'm like, this is either crabs or it's the big one that he's been trying to run off. He comes in, stops 27 yards. I'm like, oh, this can't be happening, Like, I come to full draw, I settle in, I'm like, oh, and I thought to myself, I'm going to kill the biggest buck of my life, because this other buck scores more than what crabs did. Crabs ended up scoring, they roughed him at 175.
Yeah.
And this buck was bigger, rack-wise. Body-wise, they're about the same, but rack-wise, this deer, tenfold, way bigger. And he's standing there broadside. I'm full draw. I'm like, take one more step. He takes one more step. That shoulder that's facing me moves forward. He turns his head, looks behind him. I'm like, night, night. I release that arrow and I hear the wow. I see his ass end kick up. He does the old-fashioned donkey kick. And I'm sitting there going, I'm in disbelief. But I heard the solid whack, not the thud.
Right.
And I'm like, my first instinct is like, I hit him a little forward.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm shooting 70 pounds. I'm shooting, you know about the Grim Reapers. I'm shooting the Grim Reaper Pro Series. And
I used to shoot those too. I still do.
Yeah.
They're great head.
I hear that whack, and I'm like, oh. But then I'm watching him as I'm thinking that, and he stops. And I'm like, oh, my shot's better than I thought. I hit the opposite shoulder. That's what I heard. And he's standing there, and all of a sudden I see the body start to wobble. I'm like, and I'm about ready to fall out of the damn stand because I'm like, oh, I'm like, I did it. I finally did it. You know, I haven't shot a huge buck in shit since I was 14. I'm 40 years old. I haven't shot a buck over 120 inches in that time frame because I mainly shoot does and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this paid off. And I hear all hell break loose, and I'm like, I did it. And my phone just starts blowing up. And he's like, what the heck? And my wife's cousin, he was like, what the hell just happened? I was like, I think I just shot the biggest buck of my life. I said, I think I just killed crabs. Or one of them. I said, I just killed one of the big bucks. He's like, yeah, I heard. And I'm like, what do you mean you heard? He's like, I thought somebody was out here squirrel hunting. And then my heart kind of sank, and I'm like, no, it can't be. I just heard him crash. And as I'm on the phone with him at that time frame, he's like, oh shit, a giant buck just ran behind him. He's like, dude, a giant buck just ran behind me, just hauling ass behind the doe. And I'm like, oh, okay, sit tight. You know, I'm thinking, mine's dead. I saw him, he's had the wobble going. You can see his, you know, their ass end will kind of start to drop a little bit, like they want to, like, oh, I'm fighting. And I'm like, oh, he's dead. You know, and we start trailing the blood trail. And I'm like, oh, this deer's dead. The amount of blood that we were finding, I'm like, this deer's easily dead.
Right.
And I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, where's my arrow? We never found my arrow. We get over to the area where he was, and it's like somebody had taken a paintbrush, dipped it all the way in, covered all the bristles, and just sat there and went, boom, like this. Blood everywhere on there. And I'm like, well, where the hell is he? We could see where he stumbled. We could tell in the ground. He was stumbling. 10 yards further, he got his footing, and we could follow it, and we're like, and then the bug got less. And I'm going, what the hell? I'm like, and then I started thinking, it had to have been that front shoulder that I had hit. And I'll remind you, this is a week before Iowa's first gun season.
Right.
That this was all going on. And I'm like, okay. So we were tracking, we tracked this deer 500 yards.
Oh, no.
Onto the neighbor's property and everything. And we got within 60 yards of the house that's sitting way back in. And I'm like, dude, I think he's laying dead somewhere. But I was like, I hope it's not in this guy, in the neighbor's backyard. And everything. And I called them up and asked, hey, is there a dead deer laying in the yard? They're like, no, we saw one, just going off or whatever, looked fine. No, I'm like, okay, I didn't play it off. I just kind of played it off. Didn't think anything of it. Went back out a couple hours later. I'm like, okay, I shot this deer like right at first light. So around the 7 o'clock time frame maybe. I went back around 3, tracked it till dark, walking around and everything. I'm like, motherfucker. And I'm like, well, okay. Chalked it up as a loss, Iowa's first gun season, get a text message, hey, look who's dead. Neighbor holding crabs. And I'm like, typical. Everybody, they're like, oh, Farmer Joe's going to shoot it wearing flannel and blue jeans. This guy was wearing green and black flannel with an orange vest and blue jeans and a pair of Rocky boots. Yep. I'm like, kudos to him,
Right.
Buck of a lifetime. I'm not going to sit there and knock the guy for shooting it. He was grinning ear to ear with it. Hey, good for him, 6 hours later in the day, it's winding down on opening day. Text message, another one gone. And I'm like, motherfucker. And I look, and he goes, by the way, arrow's still in it. And I go, and I text, what? and he sent me a picture. My arrow was still in the deer. What had happened is, so like I said, I shot this buck broadside.
Bottle.
Okay, this buck was broadside, and like I said, this was first shooting light that I had. At 27 yards, I could see my pins. I could see the body of the deer. I could see his rack, but that was it because I'm just inside the wood line on the field edge. And this deer, I had ended up hitting. I didn't notice it until I went back after shotgun season and looked. You could see where this is where he was. And I saw 3 branches. My arrow had hit 3 paper thin branches that had deflected the arrow to where it came in frontal and went up to the fletching down his body.
Wow.
Never penetrated his chest cavity. I couldn't believe I don't know how the blades didn't rip it. They said there was a hell of a gash along the rib cage.
That couldn't just destroy everything in its path, with...
Right. The only thing I can think of is that when you get down there towards the front end, that skin there is real freaking thick.
It is.
But how in the hell blade doesn't just... Yeah.
Yeah.
And shooting that Pro Series head, it had to have kicked the arrow enough that pro tip didn't have the potential to penetrate enough to hit inside the chest cavity. They said 3 of the ribs were cut in half, but just barely on the inside. You could just barely tell where the broadhead had run right down the chest cavity. They said if the arrow would have had either possibly more weight or wouldn't have hit something, it was off by a half inch, that it would have wiped him out. With the amount of damage that was done inside the hide, and the first 4 ribs were cut in half from the one blade. No infection had set in. None of that had. Everything was salvageable for meat wise, but ended up being shot, and I was like, damn it. And then I had one where it was a big one, and had walked right to me, standing broadside, and I got nervous about a branch, and I did the to stop him, because not realizing, he's going to the main licking branch on the other property that was across the river that I had permission to hunt at the time, knowing that that's what he was going to do. And if I would have waited 10 more seconds, he would have had his head up, not a care in the world, doing his scrape thing, and I would have had a slam dunk at 10 yards. But I did the whole to stop him from doing it. He turns, looks right at me, slightly turns toward me, and smack that shoulder again.
Yep.
And that one made it through shotgun season, made it through our winter this year. But I had gotten enough penetration that it was a solid enough hit. I was using a fixed blade on that time. That one is, they call him gimpy, because I had busted entirely that whole front shoulder. That one I don't think would make it past this year. That's the one I feel the worst about, because that one was another easy 150-inch plus deer.
But since we got on that topic, but for food plots, what do you got going on your place right now for food plots?
Just listen to this combination.
I really
blow your mind.
skimped this year, so I didn't really get back out. I've just been so busy with pouring baits. I don't really have that much time. So
Well, the clover and everything that you got planted, that's got to still be good.
It's good and it's there. It's probably something that I need to address for this fall.
Yeah. Probably get some nitrogen out there or something.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I think it might not be a bad time just to cut everything down real low and then just go replant the clover, chicory, alfalfa mix that I used.
Yeah, see, alfalfa column.
That we did. We
can't sell me on
it. You can't really sell me on it either because I've got our ground's kind of been some flood grounds, so the alfalfa does not like wet feet at all.
Yeah, well, and where yours is at, it's higher.
I know.
Higher away from higher ground. It's good.
That's a more summertime-ish
Yeah.
feeding for that. I'm totally into the clover and chicory.
Yeah.
You know, I'll probably go and redo that stuff. You know,
what about your take on the kale? Because I took your advice on the kale last year, and the deer,
they loved it.
Oh my Lord.
The kale thing, I
hammered it.
I came up with that kale idea because it's super cheap.
Yeah,
it is.
For a guy, I think it's almost cheaper than clover and
it is
chicory.
It's a garden seed.
Some places though, like it might take them a little bit of time to acquire the taste for kale, but once it gets cold out that first time, they really just, for some reason, they just really love to hit it.
Well,
that ridge stand.
For
instance, we did all that, and
with
how many bucks did we kill out of that stand that year?
Yeah,
$8
bucks.
At least $8 out of one stand. And they were all nice deer.
For kale during the summer, it's very, very bitter. When frost hits, it sweetens up because it's sending all the nutrients and everything back down and sends the sugars back up.
Now, how do you explain, because you know that I planted 4 different types of kale in our kale plot. We had them hitting it early season when it was still 70, 80 degrees out during Iowa's youth season last year.
I have no idea. Maybe the deer are just goofy out there.
I would say maybe more or less that managing the herd at that point, where everybody's competing for the best nutrients at that time.
That's probably it too.
I mean, a lot of people don't understand clover. They just think, well, just deer eat it. Well, why do they eat it? Well, nursing fawns, like that's a big deal for does to come there to eat that.
They're high in calcium, high in sugars. Clover is.
Right. And so, like, on our chestnut patch that's in, like, the center of our turnaround now, when we did that, I did that with that whole idea for the nursing does.
I noticed that in your persimmon patch, there's now clover down in there too.
Yeah, I've tried to get that in there. That stinking grass is just raving there.
If you get down in there this spring, I noticed it. In between your rows, there's an area that's
there should be because I planted it.
Well,
to try to get the grass to go away, but the stinking grass
it did, but it's almost like it magically happened. I know you were trying to do it, but you can go 5 yards on either side of your stand that's in that persimmon patch.
Yep.
And you go 15 yards, so you got your stand, and then it's like 10 yards in your first row, and then you got the patch, and they're about 10 yards apart.
Yep.
And to give you, that 15-yard shot that we all like to try to achieve, that's where the clover starts, and it comes out to about 5 yards past your second row, halfway to your third row, but it's just one little square where the clover just took over, and I'm like, I looked right at my daughter, I'm like, somebody's gonna kill a big deer out of that stand this year.
Yeah.
And she's like, what do you mean?
Well, I did that, and I planted it there for a reason. So my whole reasoning for doing it was not just to help the trees, but it was also for me in the stand. I'm just hoping that one hot doe that's got that big boy comes right down and she goes to stop to eat there, and then she kind of moves on. My hope is, see, when they stop like that, you can always tell, because that buck will always come up and he'll actually put his nose down to the ground and kind of lick around, and just to get that scent, you know. And so a lot of times I killed that one that broke his horn off, that one antler off that side that ticked me off so bad.
Yeah.
2 years ago. That was the same deal. You know, she did exactly what I wanted her to do, and he was obviously following that. And I hadn't even seen a big deer the whole time. Everyone else has seen all these big deer, and I'm like, well, why can't I see something decent?
That's the same with me and him. He sees all the big deer, and I'm like, I haven't seen shit.
Yeah.
I helped these guys out as much as possible. I will say this though, I did notice this spring there's one doe that's going to give you a trouble. One this year. And you have the opportunity, you better take her out. Every doe that I walked right past your stand, would not have a care in the world. The minute she hits where you and I shot our turkeys last spring, she's got a notch in her right ear.
Yep.
First thing she does, she hits to where the blind is. It is now. I don't know if you're going to leave it there or not. She looks right there. If you don't shoot her there, the next thing she does before she takes a step, and she's in bow range, and it's a good, high-quality shot, her next instinct is to look right at that stand. She's the only one. She looks right at it.
Yeah, she might have had an encounter with me or something at some point.
Because
just wait till she snorts at me, she's getting schwacked.
But that's the first thing she does. Not any other doe. And there was a few big mature does, not a care in the world. But that one, it's either a cut or a notch.
Yep.
On her right ear, towards the top, and you can tell it. And when you see her, she was gray in the face this spring. Really long nose, great big long neck. I mean, she's a big doe.
Yeah.
And
them are the good ones to eat.
Oh,
tasty treats.
Hopefully somebody can stick an arrow in her before because she is the only one. I watched 20 deer walk around and not take a glimpse at that stand. She was the only one that when she walked out, because she walked past where she comes out from where the double stand area was, just to the east of you.
I know who you're talking about, because I've watched them during turkey hunting enough. I didn't really make it out this year. I was worried about all the water flooding and stuff, so I just didn't make it. Take it out, and then you guys were hunting early, so I just kind of
I didn't make it out.
Do their thing.
I didn't make it out hunting because I had eye surgery. So.
Yeah, I'm kind of going through that. I got a sty in my eye right now, and it's garbage. Eye troubles are not good things to have.
Yeah,
no,
especially when you're hunting and you can't see shit.
Yeah.
Good thing it's not your dominant eye for right now.
Yeah, but my left still does a lot of stuff, so
I get it. Well, like I said, with that, with her, I mean, it seems like every property I hunt, there's one problem though. One. And I've got one on the other one too. Yeah. Over on Paradise. And I'm like, that dumb bee. It's like, damn her.
Yeah. What kind of apple trees you got?
So what I did is I went, especially in our apple orchard, I started with, I did like my Northern Spies, and then I've got, to the right of that, I've got some Honeycrisp, I've got Macintosh, Red Delicious, Yellow Delicious, and then around all that, what I did is I put crab apples all the way around in the square around it. So now what happens is you'll always have a pollinator.
Yeah.
You'll always have a pollinator. So like these trees will pollinate these trees and all that, but crabs will actually pollinate everything. I went with Dolgo crab apples. I felt like they're a little bit hardier. The deer absolutely love them. They're absolutely a little bit bigger in size. You can actually utilize them too. Like if people like to make ciders and stuff like that. A lot of cider and stuff is made with that. So I kind of did that, and then on the rest of the ridge, that would be to the east on that ridge line. What I did. This is how
you got your swamp oaks planted back in there, didn't you?
Well, I planted so that would be down in the ditch.
Just down from the
down
ridge.
in the ditch, in the north ditch. I planted swamp white oaks running I did. So first off, in the really low area that always seems to stay wet, I'm like, I'm gonna plant bald cypress there. So I planted bald cypress right down a row, all the way down that. And then from there, I went swamp white oaks. And then I did bottomland bur oak, swamp white oaks, bottomland bur oaks. And you do that because you can actually get an offspring of the two. You can get a hybrid out of that at some point, if it were to ever happen that way.
Yeah. No, I've heard about that because they make a different type of bigger acorn, and that's the purpose of it.
So the bur oaks have like I like to, like, some people like on like the other sites that they're trying to sell you like trees and stuff, like they'll spill you some BS. They call them mastodon bur oaks. They just got like a giant acorn,
because when I was at I can't remember where I was at. I was actually at the Whitetail Classic that 1 year. And somebody actually had the big ass freaking acorn. And then he was trying to sell me on, and I'm like, what kind of a freaking deer is going to eat a freaking goddamn acorn that huge?
Yeah, the size of a softball.
Yeah.
Right. I kind of did it for like some of the other habitat too. And I just knew that those three types of trees that I planted down in that ditch can withstand the flooding, because that does flood quite often. It actually flooded like 3 weeks a month after I planted everything. I was like, oh shit, I just lost a whole bunch of trees.
Yeah. Well,
but luckily, that didn't happen. I lost like maybe 1 or 2 trees out of the whole spiel, which probably were planted wrong by me anyways. I probably had enough beer.
Well, this spring when I was down there chasing turkeys, I didn't see one that got lost at all because they were all leafing.
Yeah, it was like more towards like the east portion, more towards that northeast corner.
I got within. I was able to range it because you know me, I was hunting with my 410 and I know that range. I got within 50 yards of your northeast stand in that ditch trying to chase a big old tom down.
Yep.
During fourth season, and I know it was still wet in there. But every tree that I encountered going down, because I used a couple of them for cover, because I had the turkeys going nuts.
Yeah.
Right on top of that ridge. I was just waiting to see that red-white head come up, and I was like, game over, buddy.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for it. I could see their bodies. I could see him strutting. He would never give me a shot at his head. But as I was using those, I was actually using them as a little bit of cover, doing my belly crawl and with a scoot and shoot decoy.
Yeah.
Trying to inch my way down. I didn't see a single tree that looked lost.
Yeah, it was only like 1 or 2, it was like something pretty insignificant to me to had lost. And I actually got them from the State Forest Nursery. They actually had really nice bur oak trees. They were probably, I don't know, they were 2 foot, 3 foot, maybe some of them. Yeah, they were pretty good trees.
They're decent in growth right now. And like I said, you've heard what he can do with the food plots, how he's done with the trees, and the encounters that we're having with the wildlife out there and everything. And he takes that quality in everything this guy does. Like I said, whether it be the food plots, his baits that he's got, his archery equipment. I mean, we'll get on that topic too, because he's got this bow is a Franken bow. And I'll just go out and say it. You can call BS on this, guys, all you want. I was there. The shop owner was there. He shoots a 27-inch draw. He was shooting an arrow that was 430 some grains in arrow weight, 60 pounds. He shot it through the chrono 6 times. The slowest that chrono read, we all couldn't believe it. The slowest it read was 334 feet per second.
Yep.
The slowest,
That's
the fastest speed we got out of it was 344.
Yep.
That's just crazy.
That is a 60-pound bow at a 27-inch draw.
It's 27 and a half. But...
Oh, 27 and a half.
Who's counting the half-inch, guys?
Yeah. But, like I said, this guy doesn't skimp. He's not afraid to do things, which kind of leads into what you and I were talking about on the way over here with a new skiing color that you're going to kind of work on with your baits.
Yeah. I'm working. I've been literally been thinking about this color, and it's been like years and years. I attempted it in my infant stage, and so I got bogged down with things because I was like, it just did not work, and I couldn't get the purple right. A purple is such a good walleye color, and so I think what we're gonna do, like everyone saw to start off with, we'll just kind of recap here because it's been a while. With this purple color here, this is our Pimp Daddy color. I think what I'm gonna do with this has got purple and red flake in it. And I've always wanted to do a drinking scheme for a color.
Okay.
So I've got a guy that wants some crappie baits this weekend. So I'm gonna do like a Coors Light color for him. Like a silver bottom, and then like a blue top. So, for like the rock. Well, I'm probably gonna call it like the Rocky Mountain or something. Maybe I'll add a smidge of red in there. I probably shouldn't because he didn't ask for it. But, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm really looking forward to redoing this color. So, I'm like gonna do what I'm gonna call Crown Royal. So it's gonna be a purple top. With red flake, purple flake. It's gonna be super saturated like that thing is, a dark purple, and then it's gonna be a gold belly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See, now you're yeah. See, I saw the smile on your face on that one. So I'm gonna do the Crown Royal. Hopefully I'll be able to drop some pictures of that this weekend. Yeah. I don't know. I kind of got a lot of baits to get caught up with just from this one guy, which was really super cool. He's like, "Hey, dude, I'm a combat vet. I'd rather buy from a combat vet than big box store. You think you can do this for me?" Heck yeah, man, I can do that.
Yeah.
Of course I can. Is it going to be exactly what we had in our mind? Maybe. I got a. He wants. Let me pull out my phone here. Sorry, I can't really.
Just, like Chris just mentioned, though, he is a combat veteran. He did serve in Afghanistan and other scenarios, and has done his due diligence for us by far.
Yeah.
So we always try to make sure support your veterans and everything, because this guy can tell some wicked ass stories when it comes to that, for the hell that these guys went through, and that with all the hate out there now, these guys definitely do need the help. And the, you know, us not being veterans, you know, you'll hear about me saying, "Oh, I had a bad day," and you're like, "Dude, don't even start with me about a bad day." Now I'm sitting there going, "Oh shit!" I'm like, "Oh fuck, I forgot about being shot at, being, you know, and all the other."
That's just your daily life, though. You know, I put on the uniform because I wanted to. You know,
Yeah.
I loved doing it. I loved going around the world. You know, and seeing all these wild places. Afghanistan, Iraq, that was wild, wild west out there, boys. It was wild, wild west.
Yeah. And like I said, to know that, you know, the veterans are sticking together, that's what we need to do in general, whether it be in the fishing industry, in the hunting industry. And I'm noticing more and more, I'm actually, since I'm wanting to do the podcasting, like I said, on the more end, Mason's, you know, always going to pretty much be in it with me as a deal and everything. But I'm just now I've been hinting on it since I'm in the beginning stages of doing nothing now but the podcast. But in previous posts, we gotta stick together, because there's so much in the world that's wanting to come against us. Whether you know, there's people in the world that are coming, you know, going against the veterans. You know, they did it with Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with those guys that came back.
Yeah, I
you
feel
know,
like there's a lot more support these days with, especially like the local folks. You know, like it seems like they're a lot more people are sticking together on that. You know,
right? And I'm leading into that is I'm just now starting to see the, you know, the guys we all grew up watching and stuff are getting into the, hey, we've got enough going against us.
Mm-hmm.
We need to band together as one.
Well,
and they still hit on it, and it's a topic that I want to dive really super deep into is crossbows.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had a first-hand experience where it helped my dad out a lot, but in all honesty, people can have their opinion. I don't care about that. We can agree to disagree. Me and Mason have one where we disagreed way off. Okay? Mm-hmm. We're still here.
Yeah.
Me and Chris will disagree, and he'll sit there and be like, "Dude, you're a dumb fuck."
I'd definitely call it how I see it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Whatever I feel. You know,
We're all still here doing this all together, not because we have to. We want to.
It's just like this one guy. He got a deal from Grizzly Coolers and they got this big ass freaking cooler, and he didn't know. He's like, "I want to shoot a turkey out of this thing." He went, got in the cooler, had it out in the woods, and he called in a turkey, popped out of the freaking cooler, shot the turkey, and then a bunch of people just went in an uproar over him shooting a turkey out of a freaking cooler.
Why?
Because he wasn't a purist like they were. The cooler is a blind.
I don't know about you guys. I think it's kind of pretty badass that somebody could shoot one out of a cooler.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, have you ever done that?
No.
Because I sure as hell
It was
haven't.
a 450 quart cooler, a big ass freaking cooler.
Oh yeah, I mean you're talking 5-6 feet in length.
He was
almost.
like, the cooler was a blind.
Yep.
It's back.
Yeah, that's
there.
what I've had to do. The bathroom
Yeah.
is right around the corner. That's why I've disappeared.
I'll be right back.
But I mean, that's what I want to get at is why does appearance and everything do a thing? And I watched this podcast that just dropped with John Dudley and MFJJ, and they got onto the topic of crossbows and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, Dudley's got his stance on it. I support him on it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's still a little bit of shade thrown towards crossbow hunters. Now, granted, I agreed with a lot of their stuff to the point of why do crossbows need to have their own separate season? I understand that, and they throw across valid points, but why?
Yeah.
Why can't I don't see the issue in it, and I think it all comes back towards, oh, it's going to ruin a deer population, or it could give archery hunters a bad name, which it can, but don't archery hunters already kind of do that in a way with somebody that's not educated in it, though?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, there's a lot that can go wrong the minute you release an arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Why is gun hunting a safer bet? You pull the trigger, you can hit a tree branch and deflect your bullet and not hit where you want to hit.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with an arrow.
Yeah.
I mean, a leaf will deflect a bullet.
Yeah. I mean, we thought about it for me with my eye situation because I can. Sorry, you can come in, Chris.
Yeah, this is. We don't do no fancy editing. I've had to get up twice to go take a pee. It happens. I mean, nature calls. You heard the clock.
Well, the 24 ouncer was going good.
Right?
But they, I mean, with my eye situation, because I could see clearer through,
With a scope.
With a scope, because I can mess with the clarity
Right.
and all that, where, you know, with a regular vertical bow, you can't really do that.
No.
Not
Right.
allowed.
Right. And we don't just see it in the hunting industry. It's more, I think, prevalent in the hunting industry than anything. With as much shade as thrown towards rifle hunters or guys taking, 700, 800, 900 yard shots at a deer. There's a lot of skill that goes in. If you're going to take a shot at 900 yards,
There's a lot of skill that goes into anything past 300 even.
Yeah.
I mean,
I noticed that a 20-mile-an-hour crosswind out in South Dakota, if you're shooting 250 yards, I had to put my crosswind, I didn't realize it at the time, I was shooting at 250 yards. I'd ranged the deer numerous times. And I had belly crawled within 250 yards. I knew my 243. I knew I could make the shot and everything. I took the first shot just like normal. I missed the fucking deer plain as day.
oh yeah.
And I had a steady shot, and I'm like, what the hell? And I jacked it, not thinking anything, and did it again. I'm like, oh. Then I felt, I'm like, oh crap, I didn't play the wind. So then I moved it again. Crap, I still shot in front of the deer. Deer still standing there. I'm like, all right, screw it. I saw where the bullet actually hit the ground. I'm like, okay. I had to aim off the deer to pick a spot in the wide open of what can I use as an aiming point off the deer. It's the first time I've ever aimed off of the animal for where I needed to hit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that was nuts in my eyes to know that I needed to aim off of it to allow for wind drift and bullet drop to hit where I wanted to hit.
I think
So the shade being thrown, I think, is outrageous, and it needs to stop. I mean, same thing, catching big walleyes or big smallmouth. Some people be like, oh, well, why didn't you throw it back? That'd be a good spawning fish, whatever. We run into that in the fishing industry, and it's like,
yeah.
why?
I'm kind of that guy though too. Like, I mean, I don't care if somebody like does kill a fish here or there, but I don't think a whole lot of people are as educated in that.
I think that's what it
series.
boils down to,
Yeah.
is just being educated in everything that goes into it. Because these MFJJ and John Dudley touched on it of a crossbow. What are the benefits of a crossbow? There's not a lot to it. You get one shot, they're louder, they're heavier. You do mess up that first shot, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
As where with a bow, I don't know if Dudley, I know Dudley's an extremely smart guy. This is no shade towards Dudley, MFJJ. I highly respect those guys. They know what they're talking about. And like I said, the only thing I don't disagree with, that I disagree with these guys on, is the shade that crossbow hunters get in the hunting industry. But they agreed, getting a kid introduced, or somebody that's used to gun hunting, You know, it leads them into archery. It brings them into an archery shop. Then they can see the other things maybe that person didn't know, and it can lead to them shooting a vertical bow if they're capable of doing it.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, because most vertical bows now, which is another thing is, all three of us know, you can't walk into a bow shop and buy a good quality, brand new vertical bow in our area and not drop almost $600 to get your setup. You can walk in and buy a good quality crossbow and save yourself $200 and be a successful deer hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, sometimes they're even running those Black Friday sales on them things. Like
Exactly.
I'm going to be honest. I'm still shooting the vertical bow. I'm going to do it as long as I possibly can.
Right, and I'm the same way. I know I'm going to be close to do it.
I did buy a crossbow. It's still sitting in a box at my house, but my shoulders are starting to really give out. But something that was kind of fun is me and the other heathens that I go hunting with a lot. They were like, "Dude, during late season muzzleloader, we should just take out crossbows and go crossbows and just shoot all these deer." And I'm like, that sounds kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something new and it's something different. The way I look at it is, it's money into the industry. It's money into local economies. Having that, being able to hunt with a crossbow.
Well, and that's
because I see it as more of a challenge.
Yeah.
You know,
it's like this too. Like my dad would not be able to bow hunt unless he had a crossbow. Like he can't pull a bow back. He's had 2 torn rotator cuffs and all that.
Yeah.
And you know, like
my dad went through that.
Your dad did too. Yeah.
You know, hats off to him that he worked himself back to shooting a vertical bow. Don't ask me how the guy did it. These two will vouch.
He's very stubborn.
He's so stubborn. He's not gonna quit. So that's just how
he will find a way to get it done. My head is off to my old man on that. I can't. That is I will never knock him on. Is he won't give up.
Yeah, he's stubborn.
And that's one of the great qualities I hope to learn from him is, honestly, to never ever give up. If there's a way, you do it.
Yeah.
And that's what he did. I mean, the year he shot the giant out of the ridge stand.
That was the day after I shot Elvis.
Yeah.
Yep. That was the year that we shot those eight bucks out of that same stand.
Yeah. And it was the COVID year. And you saw him. He had to drive down the path, parked almost within 100 yards of that stand to be able to get in there, because carrying a portable oxygen tank, hunting by himself, carrying a crossbow on top of it, climbed 20 feet in a tree on his own. Okay? Nobody knowing exactly where he is except me knowing that, hey, I'm hunting Graceland tonight. What stand are you hunting? You know, you can barely walk. You are on oxygen almost 24/7. You're going to go deer hunting. The guy found a way to do it, did it, sits in the stand 40 frickin' minutes, and shoots the largest deer he's ever shot in his life.
Yeah.
And he's like, I think I hit him.
Yeah, I remember that. Well, did you hit it or not? How do you not know?
Now, granted, he took a 45-yard shot on it with his crossbow. And
I would have taken that shot too with my bow, just FYI. If I could have turned around and done it out of that stand.
Yeah.
That shot wouldn't. I tried to mimic it, and I couldn't mimic it for the side of the tree he shot it on.
Yeah.
You couldn't unless you had a crossbow. Now you could have swung around the opposite side and leaned on one leg and done it, which I was like, ooh, that's kind of iffy.
It's pretty iffy because if you go tumble, you're going down a long ways.
You're not going just 20 feet. There's another 6 foot drop on top of it.
Probably 6-8 foot, yeah, at least.
And to pull it off, I mean, is kudos to the whole deal, you know?
Well, and that's the thing also with the crossbow. My boy, he does not want to shoot a gun.
Right.
Like, at all. So, like, he does not want to shoot a gun at all.
Right.
And so I was like, well, I can't take you bow hunting. You can't pull back a bow.
Here's my point on crossbows. Right. Why won't the state of Iowa allow crossbows for kids during the youth season at least?
I think that would be a really good thing, and I thought the same.
I think it would be hugely beneficial to get more kids introduced.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, our legislators here in Iowa do not think that way by any means of the imagination whatsoever.
I don't know why, because you still get to sell a tag.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
And sell tag, hunting license.
Exactly.
You know? And I'm like, I've asked him about turkey gun. He goes, going turkey hunting. He goes, well, yeah, but I don't want to shoot one with a bow. And I'm like, not with a bow, with a gun. And I go, okay, well, I can't.
Again.
It's like, well, I can't freaking, you can't pull back a vertical bow. It's just not possible.
Right.
How old is he?
7.
So, like, my cousin Travis, that's the other portion on our business thing, he actually started his girls out on, like, a really, like, super low pound. I think it's, like, almost like one of them super old, like, Bear Legit now that are, like that. And so he had, like, his girls starting shooting at a young age like that, and, like, now they're...
Well, I mean, for him, we're going to have to wait till he's older and he has the strength built up.
Yeah.
But he won't touch a gun.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying, man. You could just find one of them low poundage situations where it's, start him at 5-10 pounds and just step back a few feet and let him shoot his...
He's going into 2nd grade, and then 3rd grade, Wapsie puts on an archery, sport for the kids at 3rd grade.
Oh, yeah.
So then we're just going to have them do archery at school.
Yeah.
And so that'll help.
Which I wish they would have had when me and Mason were in school, because we would have been top shots.
Yeah.
Not saying that possibility.
Yeah.
For as much as we shot. Out of the group, I'm the only one that actually shot competitively at a young age.
Yeah.
And did it.
And I'm not going to force him to shoot a gun.
No, by no means.
If he doesn't want to shoot a gun, I'm not going to force him. So he's going to know.
Is it like something where it's like so loud though that he doesn't like?
Yeah, I've had the earmuffs on it and the kick.
I mean, you and I both have the issue with our kids.
I'm not stating anything,
that.
but I got my pew-pews, and I have my permit to hold my silencers. That's like a super huge deal to kids shooting. So this last year, I took Tenley out for shotgun hunting because she didn't get a chance to shoot a deer. She did archery season. I mean, obviously she sat out during the youth, but she did it with her bow.
Yeah.
That's all she did was bow hunt. And she the stars didn't align, I think her max was like 25 yards.
Yeah.
So it just didn't happen that way,
Yeah.
And so I took her to the shooting range, like it was like a few days. It might have been a week. It might have been a week before shotgun season. All these guys out there blasting, bam, bam, bam. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, this shit's loud. Like, it's annoying to me. Like, and I get my tripod set up, and I said, all right, Ten. Like, first off, like, this is how you hold a firearm. This is safe. This is on fire. Showed her everything. This is
now,
how you
is that your 350 pew that's got the side? I love that. I was never a fan of silencers until the one year I heard you shoot it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I understand now because
right.
our 350 pew pews without that, oh my lord,
Pretty loud.
oh
They
Jesus,
they can get pretty loud. They can get kind of rowdy, you know. So
and the 450s even
yeah, it's
Even
that's
louder.
even worse.
Yeah.
yeah, and knowing that having that on there would be hugely beneficial, and I know that's why my son, he's got a deal where he's sensitive to loud bangs. Up until 2 years ago, my son is 10. Up until 2 years ago, he had to still wear earmuffs and hated fire trucks, fireworks, everything. And it finally took the courage of him actually seeing a video of the 410s. It's when Iowa first allowed 410s for turkey hunting. He was like, I was like, and then I took him out and had him shoot it, and he was like, I said, is that loud? He's like, well, yeah, it's loud. I was like, is it doable? He's like, it's very doable.
Yeah.
And then that's when I introduced him. And then last year, a few months ago, he shot his turkey, 410, wasn't wearing earmuffs. Then the sound doesn't bother him.
Right.
The year before, he was like, oh, my ears are ringing it, you know, and everything. But he's like, I can do this. I can handle it to the degree. He shot my 350 last year, and for 5 minutes, he was, oh, my ear's still ringing a little bit. I forgot his earmuffs. I've got a short barrel 350 pew pew that likes to
Bark.
well, oh yeah, it barks.
Yeah.
You know when I'm shooting, you're like, oh, that's Colin shooting there.
I got the same one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ruger.
Yep. But hearing yours go, it's like, who the hell's out here popping squirrels with a goddamn 22? And I'm like, oh, that was Doughty.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh. And like I said, I've never been a fan of silencers until I was like, it dawned on me like literally 2 weeks ago, like, oh, duh. It would help kids that are in that situation where they can't handle it. And it's like, well, there's an opportunity to introduce a kid to the outdoors that can't handle it. Put a damn silencer on the gun to where they can handle it. It's like, duh. What?
Yep.
You know?
And that's the same thing with my niece. You know, she never even held a gun until then, and so this was her first time holding a gun. And you know, obviously, I set it up, and then I go, I'm gonna check it to make sure that it's on. So we have none of this. Oh, this is this, blah blah blah. So I went up and I go, you know, and she's like, wow, it's not even that loud. He goes, it doesn't look like it kicks that much. And I said, it doesn't kick. You're going to be just fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, you know, she got up there and her first shot was off a little bit. Dude, first time shooting a gun, like, you know.
Yeah.
And she's like, that was kind of weird, but like, because the scope, I said, oh, you gotta have that hold back on that scope. I said, that's on me, you know, I forgot to tell you, you know, you gotta have your head off, you know, back it off a little bit so you can see the whole picture. And she got her head aligned, and then I just watched her, and she goes, boop, and it drove a dead center in there, and I said, rack another round. Racks another round, doom, dead center. I mean, she shot 6 more rounds after that, and
almost put $50 over it and covers all 6 holes.
Oh no, you could have put a dime over what this girl was shooting. I was like, holy smokes, like we're gonna have new problems. You know, and then of course we were out sitting in the stand and it's cold, and I look back and I just see this massive 8-pointer coming. I mean, dude, this thing was a giant. And I go, you need to stand up and turn around, because she was sitting on the right of me. I go, there's going to be a deer. And she stood up, and by that time he was just behind the stand at the first tree, right behind me. And it was probably 5 feet away. And then he looked up at her, and she didn't really have a good shot at anything. And he took off running, and he ran, just kind of pranced away, and then went up, you know, 120 yards up onto the trail and started cutting over. Well, there's this great big opening right here. Well, she already seen that, and so she was already held at that, and then he must have came in the scope, and I hear click, and I go, oh shit, she's gonna let one rip, you know. And she shot and missed, unfortunately, on that buck, but we went and looked to see if there was any blood, because he kind of mule kicked, and we went down and we didn't find any blood, and she goes, I'm kind of cold. And I said, yeah. So does that mean you want to be done hunting for maybe this morning? We can come back out this afternoon. Yeah, I would like that. I like this. It's just I'm a little bit on the cold side. So,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
We hop back in the truck, come back, we eat something, and she chills out, you know, and then we went back out about, I don't know, 3 o'clock, 2:30, 3 o'clock, you know, and sitting there half hour, and she nudges me and she goes, there's a deer over here, and it's going to die. And I'm like, all right. And she like stood up in the tree, and I'm like looking at this thing, and I'm like, I don't have the heart to tell the girl it's a small doe. Yeah, it was a pretty small doe. I'm like, I'm just gonna let her just can this thing anyways, you know, for her first deer. I've got doe tags anyways. We'll just tag it with my doe tag, because you can party hunt during shotgun season. So she just plugged this deer. I mean, it was just like instant fetal position, you know, and I'm like, sweet job, dude. And so, you know, I call up her dad, and like he drove down to the ground and came walking in, and then he got it with her, and then they just drug it to the trail, and I just backed my pickup right up to it, threw it in. But then we went out the next morning, and then we were probably there for it might have only been 40 minutes or so. And another doe come cruising through, and this was like a pretty nice doe, and I'm like, that's all you, dude. Like, if you want to shoot that, you can shoot it. We can sit for a buck, do whatever you want. And I hear the safety come off. I'm like, yep, she's gonna kill that thing. That deer didn't stand a chance. That one actually ran 20 yards. I was pretty surprised.
Yeah.
You know, she exploded the heart and double lunged it.
Yeah.
Nice.
You know,
Yeah. It doesn't get any better than that.
you know, it's neat to see their, you know, when they watch us, their instincts kicked in. Mason posted a video a few days ago of my son's turkey hunt. I went into dad mode because I was going to help him, because this turkey button hooked us, came around the back end, and then came down the fence line in front of us. Well, he wouldn't stop. Well, my son doesn't understand, you know, oh, you've got a pattern this big, you can be off a little bit and you can shoot a turkey semi-walking in strut mode with a shotgun and still hit it, even though you might be a couple inches off, you know. And you hear me whistle in the video to get this turkey to stop, and then you hear this rustling and you hear the gun go off. That was all him making the adjustment, because we were set up in the main window as it came down to a V. That was him taking on his own, leaving the 410 shouldered with him on it, picking up the gun, sliding it to the next window, sliding himself over, click the safety, and go boom. He did it all in one motion, 100% on his own. He understood the situation that he was in.
Right.
And to know that, you know, when she already, you know, when you're like, we're explaining the opening, she had already, like, I want to kill this deer, what do I need to do? She's already, her instincts kicked in without her really knowing.
She already knew what she was
Right.
going to do. She already made that decision.
Right, and that was like with my boy. He knew what he needed to do it, and she had done the same thing. To know that they picked that up from us from watching so quickly, that it's flattering to a degree to know that we're doing something right, to where we're letting the natural instincts, we're bringing out that natural instinct up into them, to know that when you come into an adverse situation, whether it be hunting, fishing, whatever life may throw our way, it's helping them, hey, I got to make an adjustment. What do I need to do? And I see my kid do it more and more and more now.
Right.
Non-hunting, because he's got the confidence, hey, I did this once, I can do it again.
Right. Absolutely.
And why, and people still to this day, not as much, but I'm still seeing it on the social media platforms. They will throw shade at a kid, whether it be with a fish they caught, a deer they shot, a turkey, you name it. It's a kid, for crying out loud. Throw the shame. Throw it towards us, not a kid.
Yeah.
You know, we can handle it. We don't give a rat's ass, you know.
Yeah, I could care less what anyone thinks of me. I don't know if you guys knew this, but
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, it comes back kind of full circle of the shade throwing needs to stop, because we've got enough groups out there that have millions and millions and millions of dollars to fight. All we can rely on is our legislators to try and fight for us and be our voice. You know.
Well, we have groups out there that, you know, help out with that. You know,
But some of them are losing members though, because they're thinking, oh well, why should I do this? You know, when times get hard, you know, recession kicks in or whatever it may be, and then they're like, well, I can't throw my X amount of dollars now towards this group. I got to throw it towards putting food on the table for my family and having to go to the grocery store, you know, or, oh, I got to fix my vehicle. I got to fix my house. You know, I can't throw the money there anymore. Well, these bigger groups are still getting their money from their higher end donors that can sit there and, oops, I'll write you out a check for X amount of dollars. Here you go. Let's keep the fight going. You know, they have that mentality, and it's like, we just need to band together.
Yeah.
We did it once and got a deal changed when we all banded together. So why can't we just stay banded together, not throw the shade at people that fish, people that hunt, people that are doing whatever, and keep our way of life?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just mind blowing.
Yeah. Well, this thing went on for some hours, so
I ain't throwing shade at it because I think it's one of the better ones, because we've covered a huge array of topics.
It's quite a topic, all the way from fishing to hunting to trees, food plots. It's a lot for people to digest.
Yeah.
Right. But the thing of it is to know that if you have the creative mind, don't be afraid to use it. I mean, your bluegill bait is prime example. For as much as me and Mason fish and everything, to see that color scheme and everything, we're mind blown, you know?
Yeah, well, that's what it was supposed to be, you know? That's what I wanted, you know? Just
right. Yeah. And, you know, if you have that creativity, run with it. If you fail, so what? You're out X amount of dollars. Yeah, that might be a kick in your nuts too, that it didn't work.
Never. I think that everyone, and I'm going to state this on bait making, and you're probably could chime in that it's never a failure. Like when something doesn't go right, it's always a learning lesson.
Yeah, people will throw their scrap, you know, plastics into a deal and melt them back down and just, you know, shoot them back up and then fish with them too.
Yeah, I mean that's a deal too. I mean, I don't really do it, but I mean,
my black right there, it's a combination of how many other black, you know, pucks that I had, but
and who's to say that may not end up coming out to be like, oh, you know, having that aha moment, you know?
Yeah. Well,
Edison, how many times did it take Edison to figure out the light bulb? He just states that, you know what? I just learned that many ways to what's not going to work.
Right. And that's the same thing. I mean, that was no different than you know, the Pimp Daddy bait.
Well, my dad, he brings back a lot of pucks from Do It for me to remelt.
Oh, really?
Down.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I mean, I haven't had him bring back for a couple of years now because he brought a shit ton of pucks over, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. But like one of the purples, you know, because the guy from I know who was making it, but he was using the June bug color with green and red flake in it.
Yeah, so red blood.
Yeah, and but he threw in some blue pearl powder in it, and I didn't know it until I melted it back down.
Yeah.
And then I was like, there's a little blue sheen to that. And I was like, that's pretty freaking cool.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, like that's like gonna be like that. that's why I can't wait to get caught up on my side of things, because I have like a ton
Yeah.
of, not necessarily pucks, but I have a ton of sprues and stuff from dual pouring this, and that might come out to be some cool single color deal.
Yeah.
That, you know, now that I can keep the bait costs down for everyone, you know.
Yeah.
Because I'm only mixing 50 of this, 50 of that,
Yeah.
you know. Like, you can figure it out off your recipe, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, the guy from Bar Down Baits, he just goes and cuts right down the middle of that line.
Yep.
And then throws this and that and all that, so he can just save on the plastic. So...
Yeah, I guess I'm not getting to the point where I'm that intrusive of doing it.
Yeah,
yet.
I'm not either.
I kind of wanted to get to the point where I could hang all my paddle tails and stuff. That's kind of nice. The triple tails lay really nice in tubs. You know, I have big totes that I pull all my stuff and I throw them in my totes. You know, that you guys see.
Oh, I was talking about the sprues where like
So-
they're melting it back down.
So that's what I'm saying. Like the sprues and stuff like that. Like usually, like I like to hang my paddle tails if I can. That just keeps
So they
them
cure.
nice. Yep, and give them 24 hours.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think a lot of people understand that too. It's like, oh, you just poured that, now I can fish it. Well,
No.
it's not really like that. You know, you got to wait that 24-hour cure. You know, and then from there, and people are like, well, scent won't take in on it. Well, no, plastisol is very porous, so you can definitely use your scents and stuff like that. And there's a whole lot more that goes into it than what people think.
Yeah.
It's not easy. Like I kind of see your setup here. I don't see an air vise, so
No.
yeah, I have two.
Yeah.
I have two air vices,
Yeah.
and I have hundreds of molds.
Yeah. I just do mine as a hobby, so. And
That's kind of how you started
That's
out.
how it starts, and then the addiction gets in there, and then you're like, man, this is so cool, and I just want to share it with everybody else, you know, and that's kind of what happened. And then like I did the pink deal, and then one of my good buddies, Jason, came over when Trav had to fly out on an emergency for his mom. He kind of came over to the shop, and he's like, what do you know about chartreuse pepper? And I said, well, I know that I've screwed it up more times than I've got it right.
Yeah.
I said, I think I've learned from my mistakes now. And he's like, well, can you do it? And I'm like right now? And I go, can I pour these other baits first? And he's like, oh, absolutely. He goes, I'll go grab a case of beer and be right back. So he does that. I finished my pour out, you know, because we got our baits in at Cook's. So I got all my baits done for Cook's. And of course, then he comes back, and I said, so are you wanting this like translucent? You want this opaque? Whatnot? He goes, I want a translucent char pepper. I want that to be bold in your face, gold flake with some big black in it. I go, I got you. I said, crack me a beer. You know, I shoved my plastisol in to the microwave, get her heated up to temp it, and you know, first thing, you know, I stir it up just to let it gas off real quick, and I immediately start pouring the chartreuse in there, and he's like, that's quite a few drops. And I go, nah, you don't understand how this works. Like, just trust the process, you know. And then just like we said earlier in the video, I put that shift stuff in it, and I said, now you're gonna see chartreuse the way the chartreuse should be seen. And I stirred that in there, and I pulled it out with my knife and let it drizzle off, and he goes, holy smokes, that's bright and bold. And I said, well, that's what you wanted.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's, you know. And then I took out the spoons, and then I spooned in some I used some of that Lure Works 62 flake.
Oh, yep.
That's the only place I can find it right now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I'm
There's a guy on
doing.
SDG. He has some big ass freaking flake that he gets on Amazon, and I don't know where
Yeah,
gets
I
it.
don't know though, because some of that stuff scares me if it bleeds. And,
Well,
like,
it
ruins my
also
badge.
curls and all that stuff.
Yeah, like
It doesn't for him, but he cooks his down to a lower temp for that type of stuff.
yeah. So like I guess with like my process and stuff, like I couldn't really do that. But like I said, like I put that 62 in there, and then like I pull out the gold, and he's like, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. What am I doing?" I put the gold back, and I pull out that chartreuse flake, and I go and dump that in there, and he's like, "That's gonna be stupid." He goes, "You're not even gonna see it." And I said, and like, "You will see that."
Yeah.
And stirred that in there, and I said, "You don't even get to watch the knife pull out." And I scraped my knife, grabbed my gun, sucked it, shot it, and put it back in the microwave and pushed out my puck, brought it out, and then shot the rest of the molds in it. And he's like, "Dude, that's a lot of shit." And I'm like, "You wanted baits?" And I said, "Obviously Nate's sitting over there, and he's probably going to want some of these baits too, and I'm probably going to want some, and Trav's probably going to want some, so who cares?"
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then, like I said, I finished off all the deals, and it don't take long for 4 cups to get 8 up when you have 12 molds and and that. And I just remember just peeling it apart and then just like pulling up the sprue, and I said, "Is this what you wanted?" And he's like, "Oh, dude, that is way awesome," you know? So it's like, sometimes you got to think outside the box with it, you know? But I think for you and where you need to go, like, you definitely need to figure out who you want for a manufacturer for some of the shift powders, whether it's that guy or, you know, Dead On. Dead On makes some good ones too.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to the shift powders just yet. So
don't be afraid of them. They're your friend, and they're there to help you. You just sometimes it's okay to just take like a quarter cup or half a cup and just take a smidgen and, you know, dump it in there and then hold that up to the light and go back and forth and see what that does. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to the shift powders just yet.
Well, I'm just telling you. You've seen now that you've seen it with your own eyes to see what it can do. I mean, you wouldn't even think that. Like for instance, I guess I only brought Creek Chub, but you wouldn't think that that's, you know, got shift powder in it, but it does. But it's also got Do It highlight in that. You know, like that's a hodgepodge of a hodgepodge. You know, for doing that. So
yeah, because I know that when I got the Monkey Milk, they had that, you know, that blue shift in there when you put in that flake, and that just brought that up.
That color to me is confusing. So I do sell a Monkey Milk product at Cook's, and
which looks awesome because I saw it sitting in there.
But
like,
there's also
I had it, and I'm like,
shine.
do I want to? Do I not? The only reason I didn't is because I wanted to fish live bait and kind of do an old school deal.
Yeah, there's that snow shine too that on sells.
Yeah, so like that would definitely be like that'd be like one of my tops. I actually bought that in bulk. I buy it by the pound now.
Oh,
just because of how for what I've got going on with these guys, I use that in my bait fish color. I don't know if you guys saw that. Man, I really wish I would have made more of that baby bass.
Oh yeah.
So I use that in that bottoms, and I switched away from the drops and just going to powders for that because it speeds me up for time wise, not counting out 100 drops or something. Not quarter scoop or 8 scoop or whatever it is for whatever recipe. You know, it's a speed thing, but I mean, like a pound of it's not cheap either. I think it was like, I want to say by the time I got it shipped, it was like $70 or something. But it's a pound, you know. So I've kind of gotten to that point now, and I might have to do the same thing with the atmosphere powder. Hint, hint to everybody. Seen the chartreuse atmosphere?
Yeah. Okay.
You know, that's the hint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The big hint, secret. It's out there. You know, that's another one that I've caught myself in. I'm actually going through that at a ridiculous rate that I'm gonna have to replenish at some point. So hopefully I can maybe get some orders out, and then I guess I'm gonna have to do another dead on order too, because I just went through. I poured 14 gallons of plastisol last week.
Jesus.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
And I will tell you that Pimp Daddy color. So my cousin Travis, a couple of my other friends liked it, and they're like, "Dude, we gotta have it ready for fall feed and all that." I poured 7 pounds of plastics. That's
just nuts.
yeah, yeah.
That is just nuts.
But you know, that's the difference
Yeah.
of having like the Do It Pro molds versus the other stuff.
Yeah.
So just to key in on that, like everyone has their way, you know, and it looks like you got a ton of molds too, so like you just have to do with
Mine's
your
just,
setup
Yeah.
that way, you know, with the clamps or whatnot, because those actually don't work in the air vices
Yeah,
anyways.
yeah.
So
Yeah, well, these, like I said, are all the ones that something went wrong with
yeah,
during production of those. So,
if you got one bait that's crappy out of it,
Yeah.
pull it out and throw that in your thing
Yeah.
for your pucks, you know, and then you can remelt it.
Yeah.
You know, no big
Yeah.
deal.
so, and that's where when I worked there and I was on that machine and something went wrong with the production, I was like, well, set that aside. That'll be mine for now.
Yeah, I wish you still worked there, because I'd have been like, "Hey, dude,
Yeah.
I need like 6 more of those triple tail
Yeah.
pro molds, because those things are stupid expensive."
Yeah. Yeah.
But they're fun. And then like I think like next month I'm gonna be dropping our newest bait that it's gonna be like the triple tail where it's got the shad body, but it's a twister tail. But on the end of the twister tail, it's got a paddle tail.
Oh, okay.
So that's gonna be super interesting for everyone. Hopefully I can get caught up enough to be able to do a cool drop with that and not kill myself.
Yeah.
You know, because
Well,
seems like that's what
hopefully we
happens.
can-
I do that drop, and then all of a sudden, then it's like, boom, I'm super busy with stuff. So
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, the next time that we do this, we got the podcast room all set up and everything. Still in the process, guys. It's coming. Bring you back and have you bring some of the newer stuff that you're going to be toying around with
yeah,
between now and the start of the year,
Mhm.
to be able to show, hey, this is what's going to be available and everything. You know. Oh, excuse me, Jiminy Christmas.
yeah. I still feel like I'm gonna like try to stick to them walleye guys and like the smallmouth culture. Like that's just kind of my culture. You know, that's what I love to fish.
Yep.
You know,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna like try to keep on that. I do get a lot of bass guys now, which I was pretty surprised by that. I was actually it was, I thought that was super cool that I had a bunch of bass guys approach me about stuff and be like, "Hey, can you do this for me or that?" And like I was saying earlier, like somebody messaged me on a color that they want me to do. So this is a total new adventure tomorrow when I go to pour, or maybe I'll go home and pour it tonight. I don't know. Probably.
Yeah.
That could happen too. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
in the mood, but you know, like I got somebody that wants me to pour Bama Bug. It's like, I never poured Bama Bug. What the hell is Bama Bug?
Yeah.
And like, get on the site and look it up. And I'm like, looking around, I'm like, yeah, this could be a. I think it's cool. Like, you know, I've never really ran across
Yeah.
you know, like a browner top. Like I call it like maybe like a brown pumpkin with black flake in it, and then June bug
Yeah.
on the other side, and then they meet.
Yeah.
So maybe that might be a drop. you know.
Almost looks like PB&J. Almost.
Almost. I see now. It's funny that we're talking the PB&J thing too, because I have my own version of what I call river water, you know, and mine shifts from, excuse my language, it looks like baby shit brown.
Yeah.
And then it completely shifts to purple.
Oh,
like a deep purple.
Yeah.
And you know, like a lot of them people are like, how is that even possible? And like, magic.
Yeah,
know,
magic.
Like,
Is that some of that black magic?
It is.
yeah, so there's gonna be some interesting things
Because
coming up.
because some of that stuff with 8-bit baits, I'd love to get my hands on that stuff, but
It's
good
expensive.
lord, is it expensive?
It's expensive, and like
what is it, like freaking 10 grams is like $50 or some shit like that?
I think that some of his nano shift powders are that way. They're pretty pricey.
Yeah.
I don't personally use them, and I got nothing against the guys that do use them. I don't know how I could sell my baits
The hollow shift.
as cheap, you know.
Okay, for Borealis is 1 gram jar, $14.99, 5 grams, $60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it's freaking expensive, but
you think about the amount of baits that you're going to get out of it, though.
well, it all depends.
That all depends because like
because-
that shift powder like that, like
You're using, like, some guys, they use like a smidgen, because I have measuring spoons now that
Smidgen.
say smidge or
do you really?
Yeah.
I don't have those either.
yeah, it's Amazon. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
shit, I might have to look that up. That
Yeah.
might be a good way to save some
Yeah.
money when I'm testing stuff, you know.
So yeah, because at first I was using that blue stuff the blue measuring spoons up there,
Okay,
and it drove me nuts because I'm like, I don't know how much I'm measuring out. So I went and got Pat Ashley order me the measuring spoons that say smidge or pinch or whatever. Because the other guys that were using 8-bit baits, that's what they were using, was those smidgen or pinch measuring spoons. And so it all depends on how much plastisol you have in your cup to how much of that hollow shift powder
right.
you're using in that.
But you can use as little or as much as you want, though. I mean, you could get quite a few
Yeah, but
baits
it all
out of
depends.
if you
It
want
depends
to.
on what you're going for, though.
Right, so like
Like, it comes down to a personal preference. But like I'm
Yeah.
saying, somebody that was like, oh, I really want to pop, they're probably not going to get as much out of it as where somebody's like, I just want to add a little bit,
well,
where
an
they
eighth
could.
of an eighth of a teaspoon is
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, because if
Another
you're...
hint, eighth of teaspoon, but I run in 2 cups. I
yeah.
run in 2 cup measurements.
Oh,
stuff,
and
right?
I run in 1 or 2 depending on what I'm doing.
Yeah, so I always start with like a 16th when
Mhm.
it's down in the 1 cup range. That's why I was wondering about that. Maybe that's more affordable just to look into
Yeah.
something like that.
Where for like the smidge or the pinch or whatever, yeah. But some people will use, so like his 8-bit baits, they're using mostly a smidge or a heap and smidge. When the heap and smidge is just a
Yeah.
mound,
Yep.
and they're throwing it in there and then dropping a couple drops of black. But
So the funny part about that is though, like there's the other way to do that too though.
black,
Well, you could do that too. The other ways that I've been seeing guys
The
do this
creativity
is
between these two. I mean, look at them go.
like I'm not really sure about Borealis or anything like what color that physically is, but like
yeah,
you could take what that base color is that comes out in that, and you
Mhm.
could put in some like let's say it's like blue.
mm-hmm.
Say like you see a lot of blue in that, like you could excite that blue by putting some more blue in it.
Yeah,
And so like a lot of people will just go, oh, I'm just gonna drop black in it.
yeah,
That ain't no fun.
yeah.
That ain't no
No,
fun.
no, yeah,
Well, it is fun on some things because I
Mhm.
like make bait fish color, and you're gonna see that pop out over this week. I don't even have any bait fish color in my tackle box because all these heathens are buying it up.
Yeah.
You know? So I
But like the Nixia, I
Yep.
mean, you see a little bit of green, with that red
Oh yeah.
from 8-Bit Baits, but it's expensive stuff, and I'd love to get my hands on it, but
Well, I looked into
Wow.
a lot of that alpha pigments.
Oh, yeah.
I did buy some of that
You
stuff.
did?
I do have. I have it.
okay.
I have the stuff. I just haven't really. I toyed around with one thing because there's this bait maker guy that's in Cedar Falls, and he only makes baits for himself.
Mhm.
And it's basically like the way that I can describe it to you, and like I don't want to like mention his name on a podcast or anything, and I don't want to show his work, just because like I haven't talked to this guy, and I've never even just reached out and just been like, hey, can I get that recipe or anything?
Mm-hmm.
Because obviously like I'm selling to people and stuff, so that's not even fair to him
Mm-hmm.
to start off with. So I chased this rabbit down this hole. Travis and I are a solid 20 gallons of plastisol deep
Gee.
and trying to figure what the hell this guy did.
Yeah.
And it does nothing but piss me off because I can't get it right. And he's got the same damn mold that I have. And so I go, okay, so maybe it just looks different in this different mold. No, it's like I just can't get it right. You know, like he's got something so figured out. It's like, dude, it's like it's a super clear bottom, black on the top, and then it's got like 4 to 5 shifts in it. But it's like if you shifted it this way, all of a sudden it's clear. And I'm like, what the freaking hell is this guy got in this bait? Because I bought all the dead-on colors, right?
Mm-hmm.
I go, okay, cool. Like, I'll mess around with that, and I still haven't messed around 100% with all of them. I bought every single chameleon color. There's those chameleon ones, and stuff. I bought every single chameleon color, which thank goodness I did, because that's how I found this purple to green, and that makes my June bug magic, which I can't even get that stuff anymore. I can't get it in the volume that I need it, so I'm gonna have to figure something else out on that. But yeah, it was literally like, yeah, I've tried to do it. I haven't achieved it yet. It's the ultimate rabbit hole. I did something similar, and it was stupid cool, but it just wasn't that. You know what I mean?
I've seen
if I had to put my money on it, I would have to say you'd end up figuring it out at some point in time. And I know this ran way long.
No, dude, yeah, this is a long
but
one.
It's
Holy
so
smokes.
good. And I just noticed on the deal, I just got the notification of how deep we've gone into this. I just got the notification on the phone saying that the phone's going to go in 10 minutes. So,
all right.
like I said, we can talk on and on and on about this. Chris will be back for another one with new baits coming and with new things coming up. And when he comes back on, we will have the new podcast room and our affiliates. D&S Tackle will have their own little deal on in the background too for us. We'll have it all set up. It is coming, guys. It's a work in progress with things that are going on. So, but until the next one, where can they find you at, Chris?
You guys can reach out on Facebook. I'm on D&S Tackle. Everything will look just like this on the page. I don't officially have a store online. You can just message me via that, and then if we need to go deeper into conversations or anything, you can reach me via I do have like an email link that you can email. It'll bump to my email, or you can just message me right on there. It'll go to the page, and then myself or Travis will get it handled. But most of the time, it's going to be me, especially during summer months. Travis is just too busy with kids and life, so we kind of had to do that, and we split up the two shops right now. So we're both there. We're still working together and all that, but just during the summer months, I got to be at home and all that. And then the wife understands that during the winter months, when I'm not hunting, I got to be over here pouring baits. So that's kind of how we did it. So just D&S Tackle. If you guys want to check us out, we can hook you up with anything you want.
Mason will help me put a link either in the bio or in the comments to be able to click on to send you over there to his Facebook page.
Yeah.
And Mason is still working with the whole renaming with Wapsie River Rat. This is just
it's
gonna
all done.
be. Oh, he's got it done. By the way, it's Wapsie River Rat
Adventures.
This is the Wapsie River Rat podcast. I'm Colin, Chris,
Mason.
and Mason, and I'll see you out in the woods.
And I'll see you out on the river.
And you'll probably see him, either one.
Probably.
Until then, guys, God bless and be safe.